high five to you.
Can you dig it?
from the scene, just the race, like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know. But you have to step away from it.
Hey, what's up, my poker playing brothers and sisters? Welcome back to another episode of Stones Live. Here we are from the floor of Stones Gambling Hall in Citrus Heights, California. I'm Scott Moskowitz, and you aren't. This is Chris Glasgow, aka Master C, and this is a simultaneously very happy and very sad moment. Happy because, you know, we're here, we're playing poker, it's a day of the week, we're in the United States in the year 2019, life is good.
Right.
But it's really sad because, guys, this is Master C's last show.
It is.
Explain thyself.
You know, sometimes people got to relocate and go to places where there's more craps readily available.
So I'm guessing that Master C owes child support, and he's got warrants, and he's.
Not that I know of.
You know, normally when people are running from something, they go to Alaska or Florida, but you're going to where?
To Vegas.
It seems like there's a lot of police presence there.
But I don't think, as long as you keep your head down, there's not like there's like facial recognition or anything like that.
Well,
right?
not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the way technology's going, man, you gotta
I'm
wear one of those Groucho Marx disguises.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A big mustache is what I'd be growing.
Well, we're glad you guys tuned in to hang out with us for Master C's last show. But like I said, I mean, as sad as that is, you know, Chris is not going to be a stranger. Once a Stones Live fam, always a Stones Live fam.
Yep.
So, and you know, Las Vegas is just, of course, a quick Southwest flight away.
Yeah, exactly. It ends up being pretty cheap, and so I like your shirt here.
Bananas. We're not playing banana games tonight, though. I was like, well, it would be perfect for an Omaha stream, which we do here on Stones. But tonight, it's good old-fashioned, no-limit hold'em. It's a 5-5 cash game. We'll see some familiar faces on the felt tonight. There's Mark, 3-betting right out of the gate. Welcome back to another game with Mark in it. Harlan and Porter are here. Brian's here, and it's the fam, man, gathered to try and take each other's money once again here at Stones.
So I actually walk up in the middle of this hand, and they're letting me know that previous to this, Mark has been raising for like the last 3 or 4 hands to like $300 every single hand. So it's like every time someone does anything, Mark's like $300.
Beautiful.
And then so Harlan apparently is just absolutely tired of his crap already.
Of course. Let me pull up the Twitch chat. I just realized I was on the chat from another channel. I was like, I don't recognize any of these people. Well, it makes sense because I'm not in the right chat. Look at Harlan. Is this right?
Yeah.
Is the card reader correct?
I think so.
No.
It's
Is that
not
a no,
correct.
Taylor?
I don't know.
We don't
It doesn't
know.
seem like it, but I mean, who knows, man? It's been an epic few days of streams here on Stones Live. I was on the other side of the mic, tuning in from the computer at home for the S show of Saturday. Oh boy!
Yeah, I watched a couple of those hands.
I love how shell shocked Berkey was when he came into the booth after. He was like sort of wide eyed, and he was like, "We all lost. Like we all lost." I was like, "Yeah, dude, welcome." And then everyone's like, "This Postle guy. Listen, man, if you follow the No Limit Hold'em scene, especially the cash scene in the year 2019, and it's news to you who Mike Postle is, you are just not really paying that close of attention."
Yeah.
I fully understand that, like, you know, look, dude, what do you think? Everybody watches Stones? No, I understand that. But, dude, stop being surprised by Mike and his winning ways, man. Everyone is, who is this? This guy's a fish.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
get a clue.
The hand reader is not correct because in this hand, Mark has King Queen suited. So this is not correct hands here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and I actually think Harlan has a pretty big overpair here.
Sorry, Harlan does?
I believe so.
Yeah, Queen.
I don't know if he
Make
had
a lot
that.
more sense than Queen Deuce.
Right. But, you know, Mark is just thinking if he wants to call another 1200 or ditch it. At this time, he's basically saying, like, I can't call. Like he's like, I'm either going to shove or I'm folding.
Because he doesn't have enough behind to do battle after the flop, right? Well, what does he have, 2.5? So he would have, like, a half of a pot-sized bet left?
Yeah, and so then right after he said I can't call, then he's like,
Call.
I call.
Call you. All right, Mark's going to try to make a bunch of eights. And oh, my God.
So, again,
DJ Webb Anonymouster, thanks for the Twitch follow, dude.
Yeah, Mark does not have 9-8.
Oh.
Harlan shoves. And then Mark shows the King Queen and then folds.
King Queen, got it.
Yes, King Queen suited. Fat Train.
What? Oh, yeah.
In
I
the
love
chat,
that.
but not in the booth.
Unfortunately, yeah. This was supposed to be, Fat Train was supposed to be here. He is in town.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I think Timmy Burke, it is working. What's going on, buddy? T Burke, for anybody who doesn't know, one of the originals on Veronica and Friends. So Fat Train, I think it was actually saved this up to not be in the booth with me for my last show because I was supposed to be in the booth with him for his last show and ended up playing in the game. So what we're learning about Fat Train is he holds grudges, he doesn't forget, and well done, sir.
Yeah. What happened there about Hune is that the card readers were not correct. Mark did not have 8-9, and Harlan did not have Queen Deuce. But we will. This has been sort of at least the last few streams I've done. Right out of the gate, there seems to be like a card reader wonkiness, but then we're just like an old car, man. We need to warm up in the driveway for a couple of minutes before we get going.
So by about hour 3.5 or so, we should be hitting our stride.
Yeah, right. We'll be at about 90% accuracy 3 hours from now, so you can look forward to that. The delight that I take in Fat Train, hearing every time when I'm on the other side of the show and I'm in the chat room and I type "this guy's a fish" in all capitals, usually with a bunch of exclamation marks and a 1 mixed in there. Train always hears it in my cadence. "This guy's a fish," and I take there's no end to the delight that I take in that Train.
And Fat Train's saying to me, "Thank you for the Glenlivet." 18 says definitely helping is cold. You are welcome.
Can't wait to get into that after the show. Gonna go celebrate /
Miserate.
Yeah, that's right. And you know the beauty of booze is that it really serves both purposes quite nicely.
And Joe here flops top boat.
Feels good, man.
And he is hogging this board pretty heavily.
Brian better hope he doesn't
checking.
make a straight here. He does make a 2 pair, and he's still got that open-ended straight draw, and none of it is anywhere close to good.
Now, this somehow checks through, and Jeremy spikes a 3. I don't know how he does not lose a lot of money. As it is, oh yeah, it is going to check through. Ooh, so close.
And also, Brian could have caught an 8 or a king to get into some trouble, but unfortunately for Joe, everyone just has total air.
Mark does hit a 4.
He had a nut flush draw on the turn, too. None of it was anywhere close to good.
After checks through so far, Joe's going to put in a pretty good bet here. He wants to try to recover some of the value that he perceives that he's missed. But if nobody's bet by the turn, they probably just don't have anything. You know, like a 9 to bet by the turn, you know, or the river for sure once it's checked around if they're in first position. So you kind of got to go a little smaller. You know, you're just trying to get like 7s to call, something like that.
Jack 10.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Brian can't call for 450. Thanks, Racing Guy. Man, we love having you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Thanks, everybody in the Twitchers and the YouTubers for chilling with us here for another cash game on Stones Live tonight. You know, I would love to get an episode count. I know Boss Justin has got to have that number somewhere. What number episode is this for Stones Live?
I don't know.
We're into the many hundreds, right? I mean, are we nearing,
we're in
what,
the dozens
500?
at least.
Yeah, at least a few dozen.
Yeah.
I would like to know. I mean, I know it's been a lot.
So
Always fun to keep track.
Fat Train's trying to get me to vouch for how sick he is. I will vouch that he has allergies.
That's what you keep saying. I don't know. Train doesn't know either. Train's like, I'm pretty sure, man. I just have the swine flu.
I'm just not sure that sneezing is a symptom of the swine flu.
There's no limit to the symptoms of swine flu, man.
Based on that he sneezed once, I can completely rule out everything but allergies. Queen 9-6, Jeremy with top pair, and Brian with the gut shot.
Yeah, he's got the king of hearts in his hand too. Just goes check through. Brian improves. It's still not good enough. After it goes check through on the flop, Jeremy has to think he has the best hand here, and he does. He bets. Brian thinks he might have turned the best hand, and he has outs if he didn't, so he calls. That would have been a cooler card for Brian's hand on the turn. Instead, it's a blank.
Yeah, it's going to
and
slow
it's just going to go check, and Jeremy gets himself an extra 400 and change.
So we
from his
already
bet on
have
the turn.
a
Wow.
million people in the chat. We got Bohan, what's going on? Greg Sullivan, T. Burke himself, Sandy Joy, Bot Lady Ghost, Fat Train, Dickens Cider, Kieran. Who else we got? Jesus. Pages of text.
Now, is this Greg Sullivan, the
Racing
champ?
guy.
Was that you, Greg, that was playing in the game, right? Who had the champ's belt on? I remember you. It's been a long time,
was that
though.
him?
Yeah, I mean, it's been probably, what, a year?
Nice. That shit was so dope.
Yeah, man, so an epic...
And he ran well, too, from what I remember, at least one of the shows. I think he was in a couple of the shows while he was here.
I don't remember the results, really, but I remember him, of course, with that. He was literally wearing a giant, WWF,
because he won a fantasy football league or something like that with his buddies, so they were like, yeah, you should wear that on stream. So he's like, psh, booked.
There you go. Hey, Ghost of M's in the house, and CS Wood. Hey guys, what's happening?
See this wood.
Is this right, Taylor? Jeremy's 3-betting from the button with 10-8. Taylor's like,
we're not getting a lot of confidence from.
I'm playing Angry Birds back here. Leave me alone.
He's just salty back there. He's been eating them, sunflower seeds. Only one even prime. What up?
Yeah, there for sure there will be marbles there. Even prime at the end of the show.
Even prime. Just know your timing. Like you can't ask us that in the first 15 minutes. That's a bannable offense.
Honestly.
Jeez.
I mean, you in the first few minutes of the Sixth Sense, do you go like, has they revealed that he's dead yet? Or no, that's coming up later. Oh, there we go! Exclamation mark play. You can already get your plays in. Boom.
Don't do it this early because it always freezes, and then we have to restart it anyways.
I mean, I guess I'll say Jeremy is trying to take control of this hand. He 3-bet from the button. He flops a 10. He's betting again. Brian is calling with the gut shot and a 9 of hearts.
What up, Riz?
All right. God, Jeremy
and
had the best
the
hand.
gut shot.
Yeah, but he hits it. Yeah. You're not so stoked. I mean, yeah, you have Broadway, but you could easily be chopping with another jack, and there's 3 hearts out there, so we can't go nuts for value. Jeremy now slows down.
What up, Wabry? XCOM, Grand Theft
pairs.
Chips, Dirty Mike and the boys.
It just goes check on the river. Is that right? God, all right. I guess it was right. Jeremy was just trying to play his position and take an aggressive line, but against the players like that don't like folding, like at this table.
Yeah, he's going to learn.
It was destined to not work.
You're going to learn today.
He flopped the best hand, but it did not hold. And there you go. There's a little bit less money on the table tonight than there was on Saturday night's 10-25-50 game, right?
Woo.
Which is in the archives. All of our shows here on Stones Live are in the YouTube and Twitch archives as VODs. So you can go back basically into the beginning of time and watch that show and all of the shows we have ever broadcast here.
It's right after the Big Bang.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the television show. That is when
first the Earth cooled, and then there were dinosaurs, and then
we
Stones
were already
Live
streaming
aired.
by that
We were
point,
already streaming. Yeah. That's why we have so many, dinosaur graphics around here.
Yeah, sure. Taylor can make sound effects. But
Right. Can't get the cards
verify.
right, but. So Harlan raises from the button with ace-10. Okay, that makes sense. Mark 3-bets from the small blind with 10-4 of clubs. It's Mark.
It's
sure.
Mark.
Sure. Sure.
It's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, why not?
Mark is on full unleaded right now. Foot on the gas, rolling forward. And we're going to see if Porter wants to call. I think if Porter calls here, he's got to think that Harlan probably will not raise all that often. Looks like Porter already did call. Great. See?
Porter cold called.
Ace 10-9, top 2 for Harlan.
What a
Mark
flop.
has a pair.
God, for Harlan, that's such a good board.
What?
And actually, Porter open jams. Harlan has the world's easiest over jam. Yeah.
We're going to find out if this is right.
And Mark mucks, and I bet you... No, that totally makes sense to me. Yeah.
That Porter just open jams?
Yeah, sure. Ace of diamonds is out there, and he flops a 10, and he's like, I don't know what you effers have. He doesn't think Harlan is that strong. Maybe Harlan has, like, queens? I don't know. Maybe this is not a terrific open jam. Sir Levelato, thanks for the follow, brother. Welcome in to the Stones fam. And he's going to need a miracle, and that's it. Hand is over.
Yeah, I'm going to be really surprised to see Jack 10 here, if that's really what he has. I feel like he has something else. That's not...
I don't think so.
I don't think Porter does that kind of stuff.
No, I bet you he does. Yeah, because he calls, and then Harlan raises Mark 3-bets, and he cold calls. He's Jack 10 suited. He doesn't want to fold. And then he flops a 10 and the ace of diamonds, and he open jams. It's a little loose, but it's not out of the question. I don't think. I mean, it makes total sense to me. It's not how I would have played it, but it makes sense.
The next stream is going to be Scott and I playing heads up for all of it.
Heads up for rolls, man. That's like the poker equivalent of the ricers back in the day. Let's race for pinks.
Yeah, or like in Call of Duty, 1v1, bro. 1v1, bro. You want to talk to me?
Yeah, well, see, exactly. I feel like One Even Prime and myself are just now welcoming Master C to Stones, just in time for him to bounce out of here. Welcome to Stones, man. This kind of nonsense goes on.
Did you finish reading what he said? He said, what the F?
Yeah, what the F indeed, man.
That sounds like he's saying, what? I don't agree with it. I think he's on my page.
I didn't say I agreed with it.
Oh,
I'm just saying it makes sense. For this game, we've seen a lot crazier. Porter flops middle pair and a backdoor royal draw, and he jams. Okay,
in all fairness,
sure.
he could be using his image too, because most people wouldn't think,
they
wouldn't think Porter's going to do that, so they're going to give more credit.
Exactly. So let's explore it for a moment. Like, let's say,
yes. Until proven otherwise.
Would Harlan play a hand like 2 9s that way? He would raise from the button, and then it goes 3-bet cold call, and he calls with that hand. Could he have a hand like that?
Now, obviously, Mark's a question mark, but are you really? I just don't think you can feel good about jamming that hand over Mark when he's 3-betting, from out of position. It's like Mark calls with so wide, you may even be ahead with the 10s. But it's not like you feel you're getting Mark to fold very often, so it's kind of a suicidal bluff.
So in other words, you're worried about Mark, not Harlan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the thing is it's Mark, man. Mark can just show up with a library card and a Costco card.
And
that's what he had. Well, good. Let him call. I got middle pair and a backdoor royal draw. What you got? And unfortunately for Porter, Harlan just flopped top 2. Like, he just has the world's easiest decision. So what would Harlan... How strong would Harlan have to be to call right there? Would he call with any ace? Let's say he had like ace 5 suited. Would he call?
I don't think so.
Well, there you go. So then it's not a bad jam, is it? Like, if Harlan can fold better, I don't know how catastrophic of a jam that is. Obviously, it didn't work that time. His opponent has top 2. But to Master C's point, Master C's not even really thinking about Harlan because Harlan just has a hand like 2 6s.
Right.
Right? It's really like Mark, but why are we ever... Mark can't have it. How can Mark ever have it?
But again, Mark can always call with super light, and you have a 10. There's a lot of combinations that Mark can have that beat a 10.
Yeah. Not 10-3 of clubs. But you're right. I mean, if he was playing reasonably, he would just show up with... Well, like... And I guess Mark would just check call it off with, like, let's say he had 2 kings, right? And
for sure.
Play it that way, 3 bets, sure. And then the board comes ace high.
Mark's just like, oh, I don't like it. Here, call.
Yeah, but so Mark would open check and then call it off? Really? Seems thin. But sure, I don't know.
Have we not seen it?
Yeah, we certainly have.
All right, so Mark, good all the way here. Somehow the Jack 5 just doesn't dominate.
But see, look, here's a perfect example. Like, Mark has 2 jacks here. The board is ace high. He's not doing anything. He's just checking. Like, Mark's not putting in money. Like, really, the board comes ace high of a big pair. This is a perfect example. Mark doesn't put any money in. Now, he wasn't facing a bet. I don't know that he would have folded necessarily.
Right.
But, like, even Mark is not going to freak out. Is he really going to check call it off like that? I could imagine him leading out from the small blind after he 3-bets. The board comes ace high. That sucks. I can imagine him leading.
Honestly, I'm giving all possibilities to him.
It's possible. What Bry is the president of the Brian fan club, and he just wants everybody to know that Brian is a cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
It's true.
I like playing with him, but he's gotten the better of me in a few pots, so naturally I hold that against him.
Of course, forever and ever. Yeah. Grand Theft Chips. Mark is not just going to spew off chips. Obviously, Grand Theft Chips is new around here.
Yeah. Let's review that. Come back to that comment after a couple hours. So Brian flops trip 6s here.
It's a hell of a flop for Jack 6 off.
Yeah. Dave with the Queen High flush draw, and Frederick has an ace.
Yeah, What Bry, as the president of the Brian fan club, wants everyone to know that all Bryans who spell their name with a Y are cool guys.
So just by the way, if another Jack comes, it's going to fill up Brian and give Dave the straight, which can be absolutely brutal.
Oh my God! Really?
And it gives him the Queen High flush as well.
Wow! What a river! Oh my God!
Dave leads out 50.
Wow!
And Brian's like, going upstairs?
What a river card. Holy moly. Is Dave C ever folding when he gets raised here?
Yes.
Yeah. Certainly. Yeah. Yeah, it was an open question.
I think Dave calls another 175. I think that's kind of his limit. Raised to 200. We'll see if Dave...
For 200, he's going to call. See, you can see him shaking his head, though. He's like, see, that's the call from a guy who's like, I know I'm torching off this money right now, but I rivered a flush. And so, but, man, I mean.
That was and really good sizing on Brian. Like, against some opponents, you can bet larger, but he realizes Dave, is going to be a player that's just not going to call off huge amounts when the board's paired. He doesn't have it. So it's pricing your bet to your opponent's comfort range.
He goes for so he goes for like the absolute maximum that opponent might pay off in this spot, And in some situations, maybe that's a min click. In some situations, maybe you can make it 500 and get a snap from someone who doesn't really think about the game that much. All they know is that they just rivered a flush.
Exactly.
In this case, it's somewhere in between those things, and Dave is a savvy player. and maybe if he makes it like 250, that's enough Dave folds. Like, it just barely the max that Dave will pay off because he just rivered a queen high flush.
So JFK is answering your question and says, this is the 598th show.
Wow, there you go. Thanks, JFK, for finding that. How cool. 598. So the 600th episode is coming up on Monday. Cool. Very cool. Wow, so much poker content. Inside straight draw for Porter, and that's a.
Watt is going to be in episode 600. Nice, man.
Very cool. I don't know, Grand Theft Chips. How do you figure Brian missed out on a lot of value? How could he have played it differently to get more out of Dave? So here's a bet by Frederick, who turns a 4, and then a call from Porter, who still has a straight draw, has a flush draw in the mix, and Joe, who turned 2 pairs, makes it a little, what is it, bet 20, call 20, raise to 80, makes sense. And Porter says, yeah, nah, my spade is non-nut, my draw is an inside draw, and I don't really know, fold. Do you think Dave calls a pot size bet but won't raise? Well, he's not going to, he's not going to raise. He bets out for value and then gets raised. Never coming back over the top without the nuts.
Well, it's also kind of weird because he bet so small. It was like, it goes to like a 225 pot, I think it was. It was, I think, in that range. So, I mean, that's pretty small. It won't go down. So it's one of those things that you can end up leveling yourself into folding incorrectly, or maybe even like calling incorrectly, because it's like, if you bet super small, it kind of encourages somebody to bluff raise you. So then you're like, well, shit, I just got raised kind of big. Now, what the hell does this mean? I've made myself in a weird spot where it's like, it could be an actual value raise. Now it could be a bluff raise, as opposed to you just kind of raise, bet out a normal sizing. It takes a little bit of the incentive, because a normal sizing wouldn't read as kind of fishy, weird, small, like possibly weak. So it's like, if you're going to bet small, you just have to know that it's going to cause a lot of people to spaz out and just decide to call.
I guess, or your opponent just has a boat. You know what I mean? I mean, are they going to spaz out and bluff raise with what? What are they doing? Turning the king of spades into a bluff? Turning a 6 into a bluff?
People will see like those small bets and they just think like it's just a weak ass bet.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm with you there. But what did Brian get all that way with that has to bluff now?
It was checked through, wasn't it? I think it was checked all the way through to the river.
No. There was
it a bet on
betting
the turn?
went down on
bet
turn.
on the turn.
Yeah.
So
Dave led river, showing huge strength. Yes, and he was strong, right? He had a queen high flush. That is strong. But the thing is, dude, I mean, you have the worst full house when you have Jack 6 in that spot. All the other boat combos beat you. So it's possible that Dave is leading with, he showed huge strength. Maybe his hand is even stronger than yours, in which case you're raising into oblivion. That's fine. But you have to go for value. You made your nut river card.
Raise with that
of course, you're raising with Jack. Yeah, but I don't know for how much more. I mean, what could Dave have that would pay off more? The nut flush? Even that, dude. King high spades in the hole is not going to pay off that much more. The board is paired. The board was paired from the flop. So, dude, I just don't think Brian is getting, another red chip out of Dave. I think he just made the exact... No, Dave is not going to go nuts with a flush on a paired board. Savvy players are not going to go crazy with a flush on a paired board. Will many players in random games not even notice that? All they notice is that they rivered a third spade, and you can get more than that out of them? Definitely. But not in this scenario, man. Not with that opponent. Grand Theft is not
this is
pleased.
how I'm doing the rest of the show.
How'd you put your feet up? Yeah. So Mark is raising here with the old suited connector.
So Mark always has a thing that he does. A lot of times he straddles $100, when it's his turn to straddle. Today seems to be he just picks a lot of hands and raises to $300.
There you go.
So we'll see how long that lasts. Ace, Queen, 8. And
Mark does flop the best hand here, but I don't think he's going to be able to shake Brian just yet. Brian's got the inside draw to the nuts. It goes check around. Jeremy makes a pair on turn. It goes check around again. No one's a fan. And man, Mark 8 holds.
He just knows.
He's
and now
going
he's betting.
for what, value? What's he going to get called by? I don't know that Mark knows if this is a bluff or a value bet, but it goes check around, and here we are all the way on the river. He still has the 8 he flopped, and he's like, I don't know, bet. How bad could it be?
He's like, well, ace would have bet the flop, right?
Right.
A queen would have bet the turn, right?
Right.
8 must be good.
Bet. There you go. There's your reasoning, and I believe he shows the 8 there. Look, guys, I had it.
See, I'm not always bluffing. So nice deep stacks. Harlan 6.5K and Fred all the way down 1.2K. Everybody in the middle. We haven't really done our top pot of the night guess, but who do you want it to be?
Top pot?
Who's going to win the biggest pot of the night? What size pot is that going to be?
Everybody
in the
loves
chat,
the
let
top
us know.
pot. I will go with. I'm gonna go with. Thanks, Dale. I'm gonna go with Harlan tonight. He's come through for me lately, and I think he's gonna do it again tonight. I'm gonna say Harlan for 4.1.
I'm gonna go with Porter because I just seem to always pick him, and I'm gonna go with 4.2. Everybody, put it in the chat. Let us know. Walt Bryce and Brian 3.2. Sandy Joy Harlan 5.5.
This is everyone just limp, and it appears to be Dave, who has made a good flop. Everyone else is pretty well with this. A check from Dave. He still has the best of it, right? Yeah.
35.
Frederick turned a pair. Mark turned an inside straight draw to the 6. But Dave, especially after it goes check around on the flop, that's a pretty bricky turn card.
Wanamaker saying Mark 6.6K. I can't even read it.
Man, and the deuce of pumpkins on the river. That's a good looking sight for Dave, who, if he didn't have the best hand, he never had it. Otherwise, he's just had it this whole way. And here he's going for a value bet on the river, trying to get called. Thank you. Trying to get called by an 8 or a 7. Even like a pair of 10s in the hole or something like that. And Jeremy is going to keep him honest here with his 8. And, you know, David showed no strength in this hand until the river. And he does get a little $55 pork chop out of Jeremy. Jeremy says, show it to me, Dave. What you doing over there? Dave's like, I had it, dude. I flopped it.
D-Bizzles, what's going on?
What up? Why is Mark showing just one card? Does he not realize that all hands are... Yeah, that it gets on the... Yeah, I mean, it's on the TV behind them.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes later.
Yeah, all these guys, of course, know that, dude. They are just messing around for the, like Nasty said, the 30-minute interim in between when the hand went down and when they see it on TV. So, like, you know, there'll be 28 minutes there where everyone's wondering, what's the other hole card?
Yeah.
Another 8?
But in all fairness, I don't think we're encouraging people to watch the stream on their phone anymore when they're at the table. So there's an additional chance that actually gets through where they don't see it. And there's only one TV playing the stream that's close by. That's close by.
All right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we have one up here. But, I mean, that one, like, in the corner is kind of in direct view of seats, like, 2 and 3. You know, so there's even less a chance. If you're on, like, 7 or something, you know, the side one's kind of hard, so you have to look over for this one, and maybe you just don't look around. Hey, Bizzle, thank you very much. Going to miss you, too.
We all are going to miss Master C a lot, that's for sure.
That's what the C stands for, missing.
His impeccable language skills are going to be sorely missed around here. So this time, Mark does have an 8 and another 8.
Oh, no, it's just, that's been working. I'm just saying, but everyone I called...
Making the same raise, I think, that he made with that 8-7, right?
All right, so tonight we're actually going to give away a hat to the person that has the best guess. If anybody, whoever gets closest to the player and pot of the night gets a hat.
Boom, there you go. So Brian does turn some daylight here. He's got a 7-8 beating 8-8. Seems hard, but he does have an open-ender to the nuts. You're never too stoked about straight draws when there's a flush draw available because he doesn't, you know, the 9 or the 4 of spades would be less than terrific. But the flop went check around. The front door flush does come in, but it is not the 9 or the 4. Mark's 8s have held here.
Should just check around, unless Brian decides to take a big stab here rather than just giving up.
Well, yeah, exactly. And of course, he can only win if he does that. 8 high is never good. And he is considering a bluff. But what is he repping if he bluffs? You know, like with a hand that is now beating Mark, like say a river 10, you know, you have like ace 10. No, see that, he can't credibly rep anything. So he just gives up. And he's going to see that Mark had him in terrible shape the entire way in this hand.
So CS Wood saying Harlan for 4.8K. So hopefully Taylor can help us out and keep track of the largest pot of the night because we always forget.
Lompa Kid. Master C is going to do some time. He's going to surrender, you know, to show up to the station and surrender himself. And, you know, he had a lot of time served, though, so it's only going to be a couple of years.
In all fairness, my understanding is if you owe a lot of money, like, you know, like say taxes or something, you could just like serve some time and like, you know, clean up the streets or whatever rather than pay, like work it off. So
right, so you don't necessarily have to go visit Master C, you know, and do the thing with the fist against the glass. No, you just on the side of the road in the orange jumpsuit with the poker picking up litter. That'll be where you'll find Master C. You know, in a chain gang, you'll be attached to other guys in orange jumpsuits.
I appreciate the advice of not dropping the soap. Joke's on them. I'm just not even going to shower.
So this is, I believe, a raise. So Joe opened up here from early position with the ace-kinger, and the entire table wants to come along and see a board, including Mark, who has a double down. And there you go, ATC Mark.
5 players,
and Yahtzee, who's going to hit it? Joe, unfortunately, has whiffed. He does have the ace of clubs in his hand, but boy, it is not a terrific board for really anybody here.
I mean, Mark's got a gut shot. Porter's blocking him.
Yeah, and Porter actually is the only one who made a pair here. God, deuce is good. And Porter is going to lead here. He is just going to donk. Not donk, sorry, no, the original razor check. So it's, I mean, it is a donk in that it's just like suddenly Porter is leading here, but he figures that flop is all him, and he's pretty much right.
Phil, if we ever have a show like, you know, how we have Postle and Pals and, you know, Harlan Victims, it should be Suddenly Porter. I hear that's not correct. I hear it hurts every time.
You know, it just never. You like, you know, when you get up early for work, really early, people are like, "Oh, don't worry, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it." No, you never get used to it. Yeah. That damn alarm every morning is the worst.
It's the devil, Bobby Boucher.
Alarm is the devil.
So check.
Porter's
front door
deuce. Porter's deuce holds.
Now, if Mark checks here, doesn't look like he's going to, but I think Porter would have just insta-checked back. But Mark instead looks at his chips, and Porter hits the rail.
There you go. Hey, Brad Wright, how do you get on the live stream? Well, you are welcome to, my friend. You just follow those friendly Nightbot directions, !join, and come play, dude, in our live game. Come hang out in Sacramento, enjoy the beautiful city, and come play here at Stones, man. We would love to have you. Wow, I cannot believe the deuce held. Stone's live commentary does not count as time served.
Lies.
It sure feels like a damn prison in here, though.
Got Kurt and Brian's guess in there.
Only 10 to go.
And does he make it 300? Mark makes it 300.
You got it, Brad Wright. Thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Man, and Mark is in terrific shape here. He's got to avoid a 7. That is a total airball for both of these guys.
Really quick check
Snap
around
check
also.
Snap check on turn. And
they're just going to check it down?
Is good. Yeah, they're just checking it down. Come on, guys. What are we doing? We need Mike back in this game. Where's Mike? Right. I love, too, like, I mentioned earlier, mentioned it a couple times, and I'm not sure if you guys saw, and if you haven't, check out the VOD, like I mentioned earlier, of Saturday's stream, where we played, I think the second highest stakes game we've played here on Stones. It was a 10-25-50, no limit hold'em game, in which Matt Berkey was playing, in which Marley Cordero was playing. Forgive me if I butchered that last name pronunciation. And Mike, our hometown crusher, and Christian Soto, Sulphur Wise. Christian Soto was in the booth here for a little while. He was great, by the way. Really enjoyed Christian, and not surprising. And Mike, our beloved Mike Postle, was playing in the game, and I loved how blown away Christian was by a couple of Mike's moves, all of which are totally standard for us here who've called Mike play hundreds of hands, and that like. I did see a lot of people were watching the show. It was a high stakes game, of course, and man, I saw a lot of comments. Maybe a lot is I don't want to overstate the case. A fair amount of comments that were sort of deriding Mike and his play. Man, out come the chat trolls whenever like people who aren't familiar with him pop in here because it's a high stakes game and they're not familiar with the show and they're not familiar with Mike and they pop in here and what Mike is doing appears to be like fishy moves, and so they're like, this guy's a fish. And I cannot tell you how stupid you guys look. To those of us that are familiar with Mike, you just look so foolish. Watch Mike play hands, guys. Don't let like, he caught a lucky turn card and bet and won. What a fish. Get a bigger sample size under your belt, a viewing sample size like we have, and then see what you think. And if you still think Mike is the fish you've concluded he is, you've got two options. You are either you've really got one option. You're just wrong.
So pretty interesting hand here. Mark, raises to the 300. Brian wakes up in the straddle with tens, ships it. And now we are deciding if Mark's going to call or fold. Looks like he does decide to fold. And Brian is okay with that. Pocket tens, good.
Mike is so not a fish. He is really good. Yeah, you're damn right. You speak the truth, Brian Rash.
Pocket Abe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And they were calling, the chat, the keyboard warriors, as JFK calls them, is they were calling, they're calling everybody names. This guy's Mike's a fish. And Pocket Abe's whale. This guy's a whale. Based on, they don't know Pocket Abe's from Adam. They're just like, they're calling it based on what Abe's was also in the chat hanging out. And man, what a troll fest.
Abe's is a whale, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, that's that. They were right about that. Wrong about Mike. Right about Pocket Apes. I'm sorry. Was I not clear about that?
Yeah, when you do well in a tournament, you're a whale. That's what it takes.
Yeah, Pocket Apes like flopped a royal on every board and then won a ring.
He just Darwin mooned everybody.
That's right. Yeah, he Jamie Golded his way into an RIU Reno trophy too. What a freaking whale you are, Abe. God.
Oh, so one of the last times, I think might have been last week when we were on the stream together, we talked about we went to Coin Op and we played the little shooting arcade basketball game. Mm-hmm. And I was letting everybody know that I finally mopped up on Pocket Abe's. What I didn't get the chance to say though was it's because they have two basketball, the arcade basketballs. The one on the left has a very, very forgiving backboard. You just kind of throw it and it just dies into the hoop. And the other one has like a springboard backboard. So surprisingly, whoever had the left arcade won a majority of the time.
Of course.
Which I just did.
It's really, what it is? It's the Mike Postle of backboards. Just no matter what you do, you just win on that side.
Oh, sorry. Grand Theft Chefs. Let me talk about this hand. Brian straddles. Mark raises to 300.
Give my money back. Give me action.
Is that a raise from Brian and a 3-bet from Mark? Or a straddle?
Straddle, yeah.
Got it. All right, so Brian is obviously going to come along. Obviously with an 8 and a 6. And he is inside straight.
Even though it's Mark with, pretty much everything he's playing is $300, we could probably fold 8-6. It just doesn't do good against the random hands. As it goes check, check. 10s and 9s. If Mark didn't feel good, he does now. Mark bets 3. And Brian should not be wasting any time folding.
Pretty good board for 10s, you know, especially after those check on the flop. Mark thinks you can comfortably value bet here on the turn. And Brian has a hand that could consider a call, I guess, but your Masticy's right. I mean, you know, the board just paired. We have a gut shot. Mark made a nice hefty raise pre-flop. Like, what are we hoping happens if we call here? Brian can't really do much here other than tank and fold.
Sophia Cope, what's going on?
Interesting pronunciation there.
Yes. A very safe pronunciation.
There you go.
So that was our hand of the night dedicated to Grand Theft chips. Thank you.
And for the rest of the night, Masticy and I will mostly be talking about our personal lives.
Yeah, whatever we want.
Yeah, Johnny Yang is in there, like, you know. I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume your comment is sarcastic and said in that chat troll inflection. Postle, big fish.
Yep.
Underestimate him at your peril, you keyboard warriors out there. You know, I suspect that Berkey might have underestimated his competition, given that the fact that his eyes were as wide as dinner plates when he was sitting in here going like, what just happened?
So Porter looks like he limps in, or is he might be the $10 straddle. You know, just slow to put it out there. Because oftentimes we have the $10 straddle on.
Shut the fuck up.
Either way, it wouldn't be smart for him not to raise even if he had the option to, because Mark's behind him just dusting it up to 300 every time.
The old limp back raise incoming.
Yeah, so Frederick was the straddle. And we are going to see the raise for sure.
Order's about to go nuts. Get ready. I'm glad you appreciate it, Ghost. My hope is that outside of, like, when you're in your regular life outside of Twitch and the computer, which I don't know if that ever happens, but if it does, I hope that you hear in my inflections in your head from time to time.
So Porter just elects to call here. Overpair the board. Kind of scary board for aces here. Does check through.
God, what a horrible board. That is the board. Look at that board. Is someone going to sneeze on this pot and win it?
Yeah, and nice run out for aces when it's slow played.
What the hell, Porter?
I am shocked that Porter didn't back raise. I mean, why not? Doesn't that seem like a perfect spot? I mean, Mark put in a big raise, so if you just make it 900 and he folds, okay, you just win uncontested money. But Mark cold calls 3 bets with any 2. Yeah. Why do we not want to extract value out of the guy who calls with any 2 pre all the time? I'm not really sure why Porter's slow playing him.
Yeah, and then you get him into the point where, like, say he obviously you see he has a6 there, but maybe he has like king queen, and then flops top pair, and you just get the rest.
Sure,
of it.
Or maybe he has like 10-6 of suited, and just torches off money by calling your you know what I mean? Like, he can have any 2 and call you there. That's what Mark does. And Porter's out of position. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure why Porter played it so passively against that opponent. You know.
Don't count on Harlan over there. Yeah, don't count on me. Always count. I'm on lockdown. Well, there's. I'm on lockdown.
I don't know why you guys think we're not paying attention. I mean, man, maybe it's you guys that aren't paying attention, because we are paying close attention, and if you think that isn't the case, it's you guys who aren't paying attention. So get with it.
That ain't over. Yeah, that's not over.
So here we are playing this pot limit Omaha game. Where are the other 2 cards in everyone's hand? I don't understand.
Well, second hand is kind of like the first. When you're playing your second hand an hour into it, it's kind of like playing your first.
He's played 2. He's played 1.
What are you gonna do?
So a bunch of everyone's going to try to challenge Joe, who has the best hand and position.
I don't want to do what I want to do, because then you're gonna whine again. No, you do what you do. You let him handle it.
You're right, Ait Den? No, you.
Alright, then, I'm out.
I mean, I don't care.
St. Mark's first radio.
He's got aces. He's got aces. I want him to have aces based on what I'm playing. I was just saying. I want him to have aces.
Ace, ace, eight.
Pretty good flop for Joe as the pre-flop raiser and on the button and flopping top chips. Mark is live though. So Joe gonna continuation bet.
And Mark spikes it right on the turn.
And Joe is never going anywhere on turn. Check, check. And Mark
Bad river.
has hearts and they have held. And man, Mark, you know what? Mark just checked and called flop. Okay. He binks it on turn, open checks. Joe, man, I'm not sure if I would be checking back there very often. Yosmel 1706, thank you for the Twitch follow, dude. Welcome in. Appreciate that follow very much, man. I don't know, man. I would not be checking. Obviously, would not have been correct this time. I don't think I would have been checking back on turn there with ace jack in this spot. I just wouldn't want to see another heart roll off on river. And if my opponent has any worse aces, I think I could get more value. Obviously, yeah, not correct this time. Joe is correct in checking back this time. And then, but on the river,
We should put you in the booth.
so Marcus gonna value bet, I'm guessing, right?
I'll check.
Check it. 250.
Oh,
So he does
Mark
check.
checks.
no good.
Ace jack. Pocket eights. Cards.
And it looks like Joe bet 250 and Mark just snap calls.
Yeah, that's what happened. Joe went for value because after the turn went check check, he figures he has the best
Yeah,
hand.
I have no problem with that. I was just surprised that Mark just snap called so quickly.
Didn't even think about raising.
Yeah, I mean,
Nut flush.
at least just give yourself a moment of time to kind of consider like what's going on, what your opponent might be betting with.
Sure, I mean, like ace.
Even if you decide not to raise.
Give it a second.
Just give it a
I'm
second.
with you there. Like ace king would make sense. I mean, he almost had that hand.
Right.
You know, he has top trips but he rivers a full house and bets. I mean, I don't know. Is ace king checking behind on the turn? I mean, if he's gonna check ace jack back, I guess he would check ace king back too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then go for value on the river when he fills up. And so, but you're right. It still warrants a moment to think like, are there other hands other than ace king he might play this way that would call if I raise, like ace of anything else.
And especially when you have the image of Mark, you know, like just super crazy, betting all these hands, is you get called by lighter hands. So now you can get value from all the ace-x hands.
Right, exactly. El Neto 10, thank you for the follow, man. Very appreciated.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I would, but I'm gonna wait for something better than the king. So I just want king enough.
Rack a blue.
Ace Jack again here, this time in Porter's hand. Mark opens up from UTG +2.
Yep. Mark is just in love with 300 today.
Wow, Porter folded? Interesting. Interesting tight fold by Porter. What up, Ed Beal? Nice to see you, brother. So Mark is going to head to the flop with the best hand since
And
Porter
Porter
folded.
would have had top pair, top kicker here.
Yeah, he just opted to make a tight fold. He had action behind. He wasn't really sure. If it's not a fold, I don't think you're going to see Porter make very often.
And we're seeing, when it comes down to Jeremy and Mark, they're just content to check it down.
Top.
I said I had top.
It never gets old. Wow, and Mark gets a free showdown here. Boy, Mark is sun running right now in that A, his hand held, B, the guy who had the best hand on every street folded, and then Mark didn't even have to make any decisions, man. It just went check. Unreal. Wow. I know, man, it's crazy. I mean, Mark has been... did Mark play on Saturday? He did not, right?
No, I think he did. Yeah,
He did play?
He did.
How did he run? I don't really remember. No, no.
Ungood. Ungood.
Well, he had been playing. He had been running pretty nicely the past few sessions.
500K.
If you guys have not already, please hit the like and follow and subscribe buttons. It goes a long way to supporting the show. Helps keep the lights on around here, so we can continue to bring you this free, funky, fresh poker content many nights of the week. We're gonna have to do it without Mass to see after tonight. Feels bad, man.
On many nights of the week. So Porter here wakes up with ace king in the small blind.
5.
And Brian had raised already, and Porter's going to make it 500. And what is Mark going to do with, was that 7-4? 7-4 of clubs.
I think I've got it on my phone, but I don't really know how it works.
Really?
Barely made my phone.
Master C going to get married in Vegas? Yeah, congrats indeed. What's his name?
Get married to the game.
He looks familiar. No shit.
Yeah, Whoop I heard poke her, and he just misinterpreted what you were saying.
Poke her up front, look her in the rear. Is that how it goes?
What do you mean was?
Still.
Depending on, what you like, Okay, so Porter likes ace king. Hence,
what all the kids are doing.
Hence he makes a big raise of it.
Yeah.
And, of course, Mark with the old suited double down wants to see a flop.
Sorry, so Mark actually straddled for a 100, and Brian just called.
Yeah, and then Porter makes it 525. Makes total sense. Mark, yeah, he is. This is what I mean, man. This is why with those aces, I'm just on the gas pedal pre-flop all day against Mark because Mark holds calls with BS all the time. So here he's doing it now. He's got a suited 11, and that's going to allow Brian to come along, I think. I mean, he has to call
price.
He has to call 300 more to win 1.5 with Queen Jack suited. This is a mistake if he
needs to
folds.
call 425 more.
Oh, sorry.
But
I'm sorry.
in any
yes.
case,
So 425 more
Yeah.
to win 1.6. So he's getting 4 to 1 with Queen Jack suited 3 ways. He's got a call.
unless he wants to say roll it for all of it,
That's
it's basically like 500 back.
I mean, the problem for Brian here is that he just has nothing behind. So what's he going to do? Like call here and just hope to hit any part of it and go with it, or just shove now?
There you go.
No, the first option. So he is going to call, and he's like, "Please, dealer, let me be the one." It's 4 to 1. What, Brian? 400 to win 1,600. And he does make himself a queen high board. And man, luckily for him, no one has any blue cards. He's a huge favorite here.
It's 400 to win the 12 that was in there.
Yeah, but it becomes 1,600 with his money in there.
But you're double counting your money at that point.
How's that?
It's 400 for the total pot that's already in there of 1,200. You can't then put your money in and then count that towards your odds
But that's what's in the pot if you call.
after you call.
Right.
But you're risking the 400 to gain the 1,200.
I got you. 3 to 1. In any case, here he is all in. He wanted to catch a piece of it. He did.
And that's an easy shove for him.
Easy shove. Yep. For 485 more. Easy shove. Nobody can call. Just going to go fold. Porter has 2 live cards, but he's not going to get to see any more.
And Porter's like, I am so sick and tired of having premiums and then just getting absolute crap boards.
I can't call. Porter can't call. Really?
Come on, Mark. What are we doing? Drives me crazy.
I'll tell you.
Thank
I'll tell you
you.
when it
And
hands
a
over.
Like he snap calls with the nut flush and tank folds with 7-4. Come on, Mark, you're killing me. All right, so there you go. Brian does get the result he was looking for, and not only does he win the pot, he does so uncontested. Porter was not 0% to win, but he folds out his equity, of course. And Brian has some chips to do some damage now, up to 4K. Yeah, definitely a lucky queen high board, but reasonably played by everyone except Mark. But we love it. Of course, I am giving Mark crap in a good-natured fashion. So I've seen it both ways. I've seen people count pot odds in both ways. I'm not really sure which one is correct.
Well, I think, it's, if you're, it's, to me, it's always, like what you're calling to gain. So if you're 3 to 1, you're 25%, then you need 3 times your money in the pot for the 1 time that you're getting, that you're calling. So that, and actually, that's exactly what they're at.
There you go. So it's a straddle, right? Yeah, $100 straddle.
Check.
we find a three-way board here, and Dave has way the best of it, playing it super passively. He just calls the straddle. He flops the club draw, and he had the best hand anyway. And Jeremy bets with the turn straight draw, and Dave snap folds of the tens. Seems very passive.
Get right back to that camp.
And Jeremy just gets a free pot there with 6-5 high. Wow. Alrighty. I mean, I guess, you know, is it a money thing? You know, we've straddled to there's a $100 straddle, and so, you know, if we want to open with tens in that pot, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to have to raise to 350. I don't want to, like, play an insane pot. I'm guessing. I have no idea if this is what is happening. I'm trying to figure out why he's playing those tens so passively. So he's like, well, but I'm not going to fold. I'm not going to fold tens, obviously, right? So call, and then just, like, insta fold the second anybody puts on any pressure on the queen jack high board. It seems pretty passive, but I'm not the one sitting there. So no straddle here. Oh, sorry, no, it must be $10. So 5-5-10. Is this a mandatory straddle tonight? Like it can be any amount, but it's mandatory, or is it just everyone's discretion?
Check.
Just discretion, and it's just but you don't have to. But we have played games where you have to. This is not one of them. Wow, Brian makes all the kings.
The most fun I had playing poker in a while.
There is one card in the deck that would make Brian's life miserable, and it is the 3 of diamonds.
Super bad.
Instead, Brian's the one that makes a full house. He had this board locked up, and here he's finally going for value on 5th Street. There's no money in the pot. It is a oh, okay. So yes, it is a mandatory straddle. There you go. The amount is up to you, but you must straddle. So we've seen it be so far anywhere from 10 to 100.
King 4.
I love it when Jeremy plays this Ghost. I can hear Pearl Jam lyrics in my head. You think he looks like Eddie Vedder? Can you pull up a picture of Eddie Vedder, Taylor? Not to, you know, like assign you anything. Now, word has it that Dave was supposed to send back in that full tilt jersey. You know, in the wake of Black Friday, they put out a nationwide call, like a buyback program. All full tilt merch must be collected and destroyed. But between this shirt that I won once on full tilt when I busted a pro in an online tournament, and Dave's jersey, we have absconded and held on to some of the full tilt merch.
Brooklyn John.
Speaking of merch, man, Master C's shirt is fire. Did you guys see this? It's Michael Jordan Jackson.
So Porter raising to 60 here. Everybody's calling. Nothing like raising to 60 with 5-4 and have it go 5 ways. Queen 9 deuce. Looks like Brian is Brian is still good.
Mark made a deuce. And Porter has just complete air, and he's betting. Man, this is ambitious. Ambitious by Porter. He has no backup plan. He's just firing. Hope it goes. Fold, 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 fold.
Porter just came to play today is what it boils down to.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, I'm tired of running dead over the last, couple of weeks when I'm on stream. I'm going to make it happen.
What did you have on that hand?
D Bizzle, doesn't Joe look like Weird Al Yankovic? Yeah, I saw Weird Al just a couple of weeks ago in Berkeley. God, that guy's such a legend. Let's get a better look at Joe.
I'm going to go with no.
Yeah.
Him?
There. Ooh. That's not a bad call there, Ghost. Man. That's pretty good. No, that was Eddie Vedder.
I was like, huh?
Yeah, I don't see that there. D Bizzle. Oh, I see. Not physicality, but like in terms of rich and successful. Man, Weird Al's career has lasted a lot longer than almost everyone he's ever parodied. A lot longer.
Well, in all fairness, they give him a catchy tune, and then he just can, kind of surf that wave.
Yeah, that's true. Although, like, some of the time...
He's a legit good artist.
Yeah, he's a better rapper than most contemporary rappers. I mean, I know
first
no
off,
cap.
they don't rap anymore.
That's
they
what I
talk.
mean. They talk into an autocorrector.
Yeah, they're talkers.
Yeah. Weird Al as a rapper is very, very skilled. And honestly, man, sometimes, dude, his songs are better than the original. Like, Word Crimes, the parody of Blurred Lines, better song. Better song.
All right, anybody fought the flesh here? We don't know what Jeremy has.
I see what you're saying, D Bizzle. Kind of. I mean, in that he has the like the puffy sort of long hair, but that's not, facial structure.
So it looks like Mark's got it.
Yeah, he does. He's beaten by 3 cards in the deck, and no one has him. Brian is notched, ever so barely.
Yeah, only one and B Dizzle. You guys are right. I was actually looking at the wrong person. Looking at people.
He kind of looks like him. I mean, I wouldn't say he looks just like him. That's an overstatement. But
Well,
there's a resemblance
like you
there.
said, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the silhouette of them could be very familiar.
Like it's Weird Al's like less successful younger brother who tried to be like cousin, right? Who tried to be a legitimate musician. Bruce Yankovic is less well known. So Jeremy's value betting here, and he's gonna get called by Mark and Brian, and they both have worse diamonds. That is so sick. Good value for Jeremy. Wow. When you get called once, you're like, cool, I probably have the best hand. When you get called again, you're like, oh, I definitely don't.
Yeah, show me the king or queen.
Wow.
Oh, Mike Postle.
Yeah, there's
in the YouTube
Postle.
chat.
Awesome.
Hey, Mike, when you come, I think we could play 10-handed for you.
Yeah. It's
Wells are always welcome at the table.
I saw too, like Postle had, seen later. He saw a bunch of those trolls from Saturday's chat. This guy's a fish, and of course Mike is like, no Kappa. I will pay for your flight and buy you dinner. Come play me. And of course all these guys are they're like 16 years old and they're living at their parents' house, mashing their fists into their keyboard. these
You got to start somewhere. Okay?
I guess so. Yeah, that's
a 50.
Sorry, that is a good call, C.S. Wood. It's 4-bet Jesus and Weird Al's horrible love child. That is who it looks like.
Who gave Mark a real hand? If he doesn't make it 300, right here, right now.
First, he's gonna eat his greasy food and lick his effing fingers. Yeah.
What, Bri? What's going on, buddy? What, Bri? We're going to have to play some craps when I'm out in Vegas.
It kills me. Yeah.
Rich Random Life, yeah, we agree, but probably not going to let it show. Well, and Frederick just rips here.
You're so right, Random Rich Life. You're so right. Don't worry about Nightbot, man. Yeah, you are correct.
Nightbot, you just chill.
Take a chill pill, Nightbot. And Frederick is using the pretend nut flush draw and obviously Mark is never folding. I'm not really sure why he's tanking right now, other than to enjoy whatever he's eating. Come on, Mark.
He raised 50 pre-flop. I made it 300. Here comes a pop.
I mean, what is he doing? There's no more action. Frederick is already all in.
Does anybody want to guess that Mark folds here?
Folding? He can never fold. Never. What is he doing?
There we go. Now he calls.
Good Lord. Now Frederick has some outs here, kind of.
And Mark just runs at one time. So Mark with the 2.3K pot, and Frederick is not picking the good time there. And Frederick, like, once he hits the jack, he's like, oh, thank God, I just got bailed out.
Yeah, I got right. Of course, because how was Mark tanking for so long with something like King? What?
He's like, I just out-turned, like, ace-9.
Oh, the jack, my savior. Oh, my God. Yeah, Kings hold. Kings hold.
Yeah, not 2017 anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Apostles like, yeah, they can all hide behind their keyboards in grandma's basement like true poker champions. Yeah. I mean, funnily enough, there was an era about 10 years ago, as Mike well knows, where poker champions were in their grandma's basement behind a keyboard.
Yeah.
But not in 2019, man, that's for sure. Nah, I don't think they were talking about running it multiple times, Pocket Apes, because doesn't Mark only run it once as a
Mark,
policy?
he only runs it once, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark distributes his, here's my pamphlet, gotta read my policies and procedures. I only run it once.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember some kind of keyboard warrior hack of a player back in the Ultimate Bet days. It was like young kid here for a good time or something like that. He was just a total garbage player. It's possible.
Oh, it's Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, the biggest wiener in the history of Ultimate Bet. Self-proclaimed, of course.
No. Right.
Yeah, I know. None of these guys ever show, of course.
I did.
Oh, really? You were once like, I can beat these, and then you were like, I'm here to play.
Bro.
I was like, whoa.
Invite me. Yeah, young man in for quickie. And it's Quiki, so I think he's from the Outback or something like that.
I would have liked
Young
to
man in for Kiwi.
No, I would have liked to have seen the QV, Vicky. Here's Dave.
Making it 400.
And here's Mark with a suited 12. He loves seeing flops.
Hard double down. So Porter and Dave, come along with Dave. Porter and Mark. Oh,
God, really? Mark flops 3/8. And Dave is going broke to him here. So what happens here? It goes check. Porter checks.
No.
Mark
Yeah.
just shoves into Dave. And Dave, of course, is like, snap, call it off. I have aces, and he has 2 outs. 1 out. Ace of spades. Dave is going to need the prettiest card in the deck to show up here quickly now. He's got one more shot, and he does not find it. Mark turns his 8 and 5 into the winner. Boy, that is so unlucky for Dave. Oh, it feels so
And
bad,
puke.
man.
And now he's
Puke.
on full tilt.
Yeah, yeah. He
Abracadabra. Poof, your stack.
Man, that is so unlucky for Dave.
So Wattbry always likes to bring up the fact that he value bet me on stream for like, I don't know, some money that his wife got a nice new bracelet for. So you're welcome to Wattbry's wife. And
Oh, he used the money he won off you value betting to buy his wife a new bracelet?
yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
You know,
What did you call him with?
Anybody wants
I
that?
think I had top 2.
Oh my God! So we just coolered you.
Yeah, he did
Oh,
it
okay.
straight.
Well, you didn't like. I was expecting like, oh, he went for thin value, and I just figured it had to be a bluff or the nuts. So I called him and was like,
Yeah.
top pair with a 3.
And that's actually the only reason I continued to play on stream, so I can try to dig out of that damn hole, which finally I have.
Well, his wife is gonna fucking cut him off.
I don't know if I can read that, Mike. Oh, who rated it? He was like, it was rated the top 3. Young Man in for Vicky was in the top 3 along with 2 other things that I'm not really sure if I can read.
Whopper, you got to work on your punctuation. I think there's a period after the first 3 words.
All right, great.
All right. 4, 6, 7. How's everybody around this board?
Really?
Oh, okay. Thought Mark might be raising there. He's just going to call and turn pairs the board 4s, gives Porter a flush draw to go with his pair, his top pair. And Brian
One open, 11.
somehow holds on.
85 bet.
Porter decides to bet out 85 here. Looks like Mark's already folded. I don't know why we still are looking at him. It's fun watching a guy count his chips and stack them.
I like how he went. Dave is always wants to run it once until he's behind.
I think we're just used to a tank here. So Brian's going to call. Frederick's going to fold his top pair. And Brian's going to show him the winner. Says, yeah, I got a 10 kicker. Nice hand, Brian. So Apostle says he had a vote with some of the guys at an event in Aruba. Nice. Yeah, that would be some pretty fun. Especially like once you guys finally meet after just battling in the online streets forever. Yeah, so Pocket Abe's is noticing that Harlan saw the open seat. There are 2 marks left, and as any wise player does, move to the left of the action. That way you can 3-bet and isolate and play unlimited pots against your good buddy.
What?
So Mark's going to limp in here with the king queen. Harlan's like, cool, I'm in 2, and that's going to bring everybody else in. It's going to take a real hand to raise it up.
You was a $300
And instead we are going to go, what, 8 ways? This is not a bomb pot. King Jack, Porter flops top 2.
Check. 300.
And bad news for Mark since he does have top pair and an affinity for not folding. Mark bet 300.
Porter shoves. I mean, is Mark getting away from this? I don't see it.
I don't know, man. It's pretty big shove.
Yeah, that is true, but Mark doesn't care about that.
First was over. Got that shit back.
It's gonna show.
Three hands, big hands I got. You got like
Just call to give Porter the pot of the night once for me, so I can take a hat home.
I mean, if you picked him and Mark calls here, queen coming.
Although Kurt did pick a bigger pot for Harlan or for Porter, so Kurt would get the hat if it held up.
As Mark considers this decision here, did you read Anthony Yang's comment? Like, is he ever bluffing with an open shove there on that board? Did you read that?
I didn't.
You know, I'm not sure Anthony Yang, like, is he ever doing that without 3/8? I mean, he could be value shipping worse. He could be value shipping like 2 jacks, I guess. But you're right. I mean, it does seem thin.
how you do that shit.
The thing is, like, Dave just is not ready to give Mark credit because Mark just plays any 2 BS cards so frequently, and he has aces, you know? So he's just like, I don't know, man. I'm not folding 2 aces to you, Mark. But you're right that it does seem fairly suicidal for Mark to be doing that with something that is not 8x.
And Postle seems to think that a queen would be coming, but Mark is not, doesn't have the nickname to get there. So there's only one person that can get those kind of cards to come.
Did Mark fold?
And yes.
Wow,
Mike
does
get their
fold.
Postle.
There you go.
I don't know what Porter's still doing. Oh, he's trying to sell him a price to look at his hand.
You know, yeah. So you know what's funny? Like, you know, Mike wouldn't actually like get it in here and make a queen. He would like shove with king queen, and king jack would fold. Like, oh, I must be up against bottom set. Fold.
I know, I got him on queen 10.
Mike does get inexplicable folds sometimes.
Fuck, I gave him 1,500, him 2,000 on king queen already.
Yeah, Anthony, I was definitely, because it's Mark shoving, like, you're not just beat there. Mark would shove like 9s there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Annabella says hi to the 2 of us. She said if she didn't have a picture day at school, she would have come and hung out in the booth.
Oh,
Hi, Annabella. And you are always welcome in the booth.
Of course, we miss you. Come hang out with us soon. Man, all right. I mean, if you're Porter in that spot, I'm assuming you don't check jam. Do you check raise? Do you just check call? What's your play? King Jack. What was it?
Against
King Jack
Mark,
5
yeah,
rainbow.
I just raise. I'm not gonna just ship it. Yeah, I think I haven't too much to ship,
It is a massive. Yeah, what do you shove for 3K?
basically.
Maybe like a check, just like a standard check raise, like check 3X.
Yeah. Yeah, Waprai is absolutely correct in that assessment. Predicure top
Thanks a lot.
pair. Don't know what Jeremy has. Might be he might just be sitting on 5-7 of hearts. He does bet out.
To multiple opponents, I mean, a heart draw would make total sense here. We don't see any other hearts out there.
We'll be over there 5 minutes early.
Yeah, queen, king of hearts. Well, if that's what he's got, he sure loves that turn card.
Yeah, front door flush comes in.
Harlan's gonna like that.
2 pair. But Jeremy does check, which is a little bit interesting. So yeah, and I haven't seen enough of him yet to kind of know how he plays his monster hands. You know, is he kind of like likes to trap and let other people bet when he's in early position, or did he have like say 9s and now was afraid of the flush hitting?
God, and it's Brian finds a straight here, and Harlan is value betting 1 street too late. There is no way. Obviously, no way Brian's folding on that river card, but he's not raising either because there's 3 hearts available.
And so we'll find. Looks like he did fold, so obviously didn't have the flush. Or was it Joe? Jeremy? And Brian's gonna take it down.
All right, so there you go. He did not have hearts, needless to say, and Harlan's going to get off just about as cheaply as I think he could have there. Value betting the river and getting called by better instead of raised. Check raise flop says, if in doubt, check raise the flop.
Yeah, true that.
Perfect. Oh man, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mike, after Saturday's stream, is obviously rolling in it. He has since bought 2 apartment buildings here in Northern California, and will be just living on passive income for the rest of his days, I'm pretty sure. Or so Annabella thinks.
Yeah, I missed most of what you said, but it sounded great to live off passive income.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh man, I can't even with the daughters. She's halfway to like the guys with the bad teenage mustaches showing up at the front. I was gonna say showing up at the front door, but really pulling up on the curb in their like in their 90s Camaro and honking. Oh, good luck, Mike.
But if they have a a denim jacket on, bumping like some old school music, then hey,
yeah, not so bad.
You found a good one.
175.
All right, Brian bets out 175 here with the gut shot straight draw. Jeremy's calling with the queen 5? Question mark. A little bit optimistic. Kickers don't matter or top pairs.
I'm not sure what he was hoping happened. Well, he's held.
He was hoping it would just check through.
It worked. Brian gave up. Brian's like, really, dude? I can't just have ace king here? Don't I just have ace king here? Man. As long as they don't look like Ron Jeremy, they have a runner chance of dating her. But is it a Mike Postle? It's a Postle runner chance. So it's guaranteed. Yeah, totally. And really, I mean, nobody really looks like Ron Jeremy other than Ron Jeremy.
Now, are we talking current Ron Jeremy or young Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, young Ron Jeremy wasn't so bad with the big, thick mustache and the thick chest hair. Ugh.
This man never had a number 1 hit until Armageddon.
So folds around the porter on the button, it looks like. Not going to raise with the ace-6. Mark? Wait.
Never had a number 1 hit, but had 6 number 2 hits. They hold the record.
Mark's going to call, and we'll see what Porter does here. Or Porter. Harlan. Harlan's going to make it 200 to go with pocket 4s, and Mark is done with his hand.
See ya. So plenty of money on the table, as you guys can see, as always. Got a cool probably 25K sitting out there. How much was on the table on Saturday? Did we get a count? Did we eclipse 100,000?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, Mike,
not-
let us
not
know.
out of the
You're in the
question.
game.
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm not.
But I mean, Mike had the big stack. But then he had like 20K. But most people were a lot less. Like a lot of people are sitting around like 5K.
Not yet.
With a couple people.
It's
at,
pretty
like,
small,
10K,
man. That's pretty
8K.
shallow for a 10, 25, 50 game.
Yeah. Lompoc says 138K.
138?
I
Is that
don't
a
know.
guess or a statement?
I think he's just slapping the keyboard.
All right, so hey, an Ace Queen appearance. Took a long time. We're an hour and a half into the stream. Finally, Ace Queen pokes its head out of his dank cave and raises to 75. And it's going to have to do battle against a whole bunch of other cards.
Mike, let us know how much was on the table on Saturday.
Brian does flop way the best of it. It goes check through. Wow. And Tom here picks up a flush draw. So, wait, did Brian just go for a bet? The camera switched off him so quickly I didn't see.
So Lompoc is.
Yeah, he bet.
Sounds like he was right. 138K.
Really? Wow, okay. Damn, that's a lot. So, Brian bet. Tom called.
Any chance Ace Queen wins? Nope.
Oh, my God. Tom gets there.
Well,
And-
Tom's got to win once in a while.
You know,
That
hey,
guy's been
it's
running
Master C's final
terrible.
show here, and naturally he has to watch Ace Queen go down in flames. As Brian checks and calls river, Tom ekes a little mini itty teensy weensy value bet out of Brian. Interesting. I mean, you know, Brian had the ace of clubs in his hand. I wonder if Tom can get more on the river there. I mean, 100 and change.
It's tough, man, because it's Tom.
Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe that is just about the max Brian's going to call there, even with a hand as strong as ace queen. So there you go. We let our opponent catch up a little bit, but it came back to bite us in the butt. Mike's like, yeah, I didn't, you know, I think there might have been like, you know, between 80 and 100,000. Maybe once Christian sat down, it eclipsed
Yeah.
100, but, you know, I'm just a fish, so what would I know?
Fish.
Who is this guy? Cold calls 3-bet pre-flop with 6-5? Fish.
You could just value bet against Mike with ace high. We'll just, you know.
It's 99 and it's fluttering. Like, no chance.
So here we got the open by Porter. And as has been happening tonight, he's going to see a multi-way board with...
So Tuna said he
Colors.
played on the stream for the first time on Monday and won.
Oh, right on.
That is an impressive damn thing.
Nice
because
job.
anytime anybody plays on stream for the first time, they're almost guaranteed to book a loss.
Yeah, first-timers do not have a terrific track record here at Stones.
That's on all streams that I've seen.
Harlan adds a gut shot to his flop flush draw. The flop check through.
And Jeremy does river or turn top pair.
Yep. And now Harlan is going to lead out on the semi-bluff. Porter, after the flop goes check through, figures ace high can be good. And then he's not going to be happy to see, I believe, an overcall. Wait, what?
So Porter had folded, and then so heads up to the river. Jeremy bet. Harlan folded.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the river card. Well, congrats, 1 tuna fish. Well done, man.
Any mattress over 3K? No, I'm just saying.
You might not, your hair's gonna turn gray waiting for that to happen, Mike.
Yeah.
You know.
Not necessarily.
The Broncos will be
Guys
coming
that
over
bet
again
5 million
before
are probably borrowing.
that happens.
That's cool. Where did you come? Where are you from, tuna fish?
Up the ocean, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Somewhere off the coast of Thailand.
Just call me Mark.
Jeremy with the limp looks like a $50 straddle here. He's gonna limp in so that he can call a raise instead of opening with it.
I played this like this.
From the hijack,
300.
even in a game, I don't know, in a game this loose, I don't know, all bets are kind of off. So Harlan
Pleasanton,
does
nice.
raise it from the button. Makes it $300 to go. And that's the one position Jeremy is not going to be thrilled to play against, but he does call to try to make a good board, but nobody does.
Super dominated, too. You got to think like, hey, I got 7-6, you know, against an aggressive opponent. I totally have oppo cards. No, you're just dominated.
Yep. But neither one of these guys like it, and they're just checking. Harlan's ace high has held here.
And yeah, and Jeremy is just content to not put another dime in the pot.
From Pleasanton, oh, right on, from the Bay Area. Made the quick drive up I-80. Came to Stones, won some money, played on a stream game for presumably the first time ever. Cool, man. Thanks for coming out. Glad you enjoyed yourself. Hopefully we'll see you back here sooner rather than later. If you guys are new to the show, please hit the like and follow and subscribe buttons. And if you have a wild hair up your around like one tuna fish, you can come join the game anytime, man. We welcome the public into these games. !join. We'll give you information on how you can come play on the Stones Live table. And, you know, no better time, by the way, than coming out at the end of this month in just what date the hell is it? Coming up in just a couple of weeks here, starting on September 30th. We're going to be running meetup games with Tim Watts, the Trooper, and Jamin Burton, and David Tuckman, and Alexander Fitzgerald. Some special guests coming out to enjoy the Stones Fall Poker Series, all leading up to the main event. And Brian here has
A lot of
flopped
sevens.
all the sevens. Nobody has a queen, though. Goes check through.
And Brian's not too happy with that. Anytime you have the trips and then the top pair pairs the board.
Never like it. Like the one card you didn't want to see.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just going to go check through again here.
So Brian,
Oh, no,
does
does
bet 40, and everyone is out of here.
That's it. So in any case, like I was saying, the Stones Fall Poker Series main event is 100K guaranteed. That's coming up on October 4th. That tournament starts, and all those special guests I just mentioned will be in town starting on September 30th. We're running 7 nights in a row here on Stone. 7 streaming nights in a row. We're going to be showing you guys the meetup games, which please come play in or watch it here if you can't. And we're also running $50 Press Your Luck satellites to get yourself into that main event. Boom. There you guys can see the schedule for those satellites. Cool, innovative new format for satellites where it kind of eliminates the bubble. Anytime you 10x your stack, you can cash that out for your seat voucher.
10x
and then
your starting stack.
Your starting stack, yes, which is 8K. So if you run it up to 80K at any point, you can cash that out for your seat and then continue on playing and run it up again.
What up, Russ McGinley? What's going on? Yeah, I just really like that. You know, it's just if you have 90,000, you just cash out, get your automatic entry into the into the main
You got
event,
10K
and
left
then
to play.
10K. Maybe you can run up another one.
Why not? Sure. And that's all leading up to that main event, which, like I said, is a 100K guarantee. It's going to be a blast. It's all starting on September 30th here at Stones. So please hang out. And if you can't, hit the like, follow, subscribe buttons, turn on the notifications, and you can hang out with us from your grandma's basement behind your keyboard.
They know about it?
Yeah, it's not a new thing. They've been here for a long time.
Man, that board is so freaking far away from everybody.
So far away from me.
Brian's the only one with anything here with Queen Nut Low Kicker.
And Joe is going to make a desperation bluff here. And it always sucks when it doesn't get past the very first person.
Insta snap from the guy to your left.
If you're like, well, I guess that wasn't good.
Okay. 9 high.
Yep. And he's just going to throw it in. But I mean, it just checks around to you like every single time. You got to think that you're just going to take it down.
Can
right?
everyone just fold here?
Nope. Can't get past the first stop.
Taylor 0933, how did you know I was in Grandma's basement? Because, dude, I mean,
Because we monitor your, your locations.
That's right. We from the
here
IP
it
signatures of everybody watching this stream, we know precisely where you're located. You know that, and also just because, like, Gen Z and the millennials and stuff, they all live at home. So it's a decent bet on our part.
You want to raise it every time right before me?
I don't know when Taylor's coming back up.
So how to solve that problem?
It's round 3, actually. I think Taylor's been on the show a couple times. As long as we're talking about the same Taylor, Russ.
Thanks for the often imitated bite.
But never duplicated.
All right, I'll make it.
That's what it is.
So Harlan 3-betting the ace queen to 300. We might have a card reading error. I don't know that Brian's calling queen 6 or king 6.
Cut 3 point.
Is that good?
It's a pretty good flop for Harlan and his ace queen with that ace of red in his hand. He not only has the nut flush draw, he still has the best hand. And there's $1,000 out there. Who wants some?
Which Dave are you talking about?
Older generations hoarding all the good loot. E-Dog. The embittered of all previous generations have always said that. So I hope you're saying it in jest. So there you go, Harlan discontinuation bet, and you're right that Brian must not have king 6. This is obviously a card reader error.
He might even have kings here.
King would. You think he would just flat the 3-bet pre?
Maybe. It said might.
Yeah, might, sure. King 9 suited?
So is that 1,100 that Harlan just bet? 900. We'll find out right here.
King queen with the queen of king queen with the queen of hearts? Might make a little sense. Seems hard. Yeah, don't let yourself think that way too much there, E-Dog, you know? Just remember, everyone that has ever come before you, all of the less successful of those generations have all made that same excuse.
That's not all I have.
All right, so whatever Brian had, it was not good enough to continue, and Harlan flopped good, got better on the turn, and wins the money, and a hit of dopamine for our beloved Master C as Ace Queen scoops a pie.
I rather enjoyed that.
When it's played well.
Brian had King 4. Was there a 4 on 9? What was it? Was there a 9-3-4? Was there a 4 on the board? Wow.
Really?
That's a huge value spot for Harlan if Brian really just had King 4. Wow. Gets a bunch of bets.
You have to play that, didn't I?
So Brian has the ace-jack suited here and is going to just limp. Looks like a $40 straddle here.
And Brian with kings makes it 300.
It's a thing. Changing the game. For you. It's a 5, 5, 10, 300 to go.
And wow. And Brian calls. So Brian versus Brian. And Brian with the top pair and Brian with the gut shot.
top set.
Yeah, sorry.
Top set. Slightly better than top pair. The Setosaurus Rex for Brian. And man, Brian does not want to try and spike a 10 ball.
Some Brian on Brian violence.
Indeed, and Brian came out on top.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have our action continue in that hand, just to see if that cooler 10 board pair, you know, just for max pain. But Ace Jack playing it pretty passively. As it happens, that was a good spot to play it passively.
All the interest. All the interest. No, she actually does not play the flute. I don't know what the other.
Brian just looking for a spot to get aggressive, and he just decided the Ace Jack suited wasn't one of them.
Viola?
Yeah.
But this Brian, he doesn't need no Ace Jack suited to get aggressive. He's gonna go. He's gonna come into this spot, $100 straddle here. He's gonna call that straddle with the 6 deuce, and that is gonna set off the cascade of marginal hands calling. Except when it gets the mark in the big blind, he's got a blackjack. and he's going to make it 500. And I believe, never mind, supporters are going to call in position with a low draw and see what the board brings. And that means Jeremy, getting some odds on his money, is going to come along, try to make a good board. Instead, Mark flops the world, and his opponents have air. Look, guys, I had it.
See? Well, I bet you guys just fold.
Yeah, there you go. He had it.
Who's next up on the list? One more. Justin.
Yeah, no one has a problem dog sitting for their friends, but try hanging out with Annabella for just one night.
Well, I mean, the hardest part about it is any money you got paid to babysit, you would just lose back to her in poker. That's the real challenge.
You know, she gets her rear end kicked around the block for drill by her dad, but then anyone else tries to play her, and she can take them.
Yeah, I don't see Mike taking it easy on her.
No, it doesn't. In fact, like that was my
He's
favorite
like,
moment.
I 4-bet my own daughter.
That is the thing I remember the most. When she sat in here, I was like, you know, you and your dad play cards. She was like, yeah, definitely. I was like, do you ever beat him? And she said, she thought a second. She was like, yeah, one time I did. And I was like, what? One time?
And she means one hand.
Yeah, right, totally. And I was like, what? He beat you all the other times? She was like, yeah. He just beat him once.
And it's normal. She's going to be a well-adjusted person.
I love it. Oh, yeah, you know, Mike did try to chain her to the radiator, but she just chewed through the chain. What can you do? I literally, you'll like this, Mike. As we have a top pair versus another top pair here. My friend Christina, my old homie Christina, who was like, oh, gorgeous. Like, we met when we were like 18. She was like a knockout. I learned very early on that her dad, when she was like, 15, 16, her dad had nailed her bedroom window shut. So she couldn't sneak out. And of course, she's, still found a way. Oh, man, what a nightmare having a dog.
Oh, shit. That's say.
Almost as big of a nightmare for Harlan here, being up against another top pair. But no money winning on the turn on the river. And Porter's going to show down his ace and his 10.
Justin, we get Vitali?
$500 with 4 deuce Grand Theft chips. Welcome to Stones Live, brother. All these guys need are, if they
need a seat in the stream.
A seat. That's right. Like if they weren't even dealt into the hand, they would just look through their wallet and they would find their Yogurtland rewards card and their Costco executive card, and they would play those.
And they would actually just have side bets if they weren't in the game.
That's right. That's right. Like when Mark takes his next bite of duck tacos, is he gonna lick all 5 fingers? Like how many are we anticipating here? Maybe he'll just lick the index finger and the thumb. You never really know, but we can certainly bet on it.
Yeah.
Frederick raises the 50 here with the ace 5.
Yep. That's exactly
That's not going to get through Mark.
right.
A new player at the table, seat 1. I don't know anything about it. Other than he has a math hat on. It might say meth. Meth or math, I'm not sure. So Jeremy here with top pair and good flush draw.
150.
That's it, right? Is Mark going to continue here? I guess so. All right, we're going to see a turn card here.
And
Mark
everybody else should fold if they haven't already.
Mark is in very, very bad shape here.
Crossfire thinking the same thing.
Second pair on a 3 flush board, and he is behind the jack on the flop, and now he is drawing dead against the second nut flush. The board pairs aces on the river. That is irrelevant. And, man, Jeremy checks behind on the turn. I guess he figures, how can Mark have anything? And now, is he going to get a call out of Mark with aces and 8s? Nah.
Yeah, I think if you're Jeremy, I don't mind checking back this turn card against, you know, a lot of players that are going to be a little tight and folding a lot of their hands, you know, that don't have a spade in them. You know, I also don't mind betting against those same players because you're going to get one more street of value against, you know, most players that have some kind of flush. But against a player like Mark, who is absolutely willing to call with 2-pair, you should be betting the turn so you can also try to get value on the river.
That's
like, you know, players
exactly.
that call off a lot, you know, you kind of throw the caution to the wind a little bit.
Like there's just there's just no reason to get tricky against Mark. Just bet. Like he'll just call you. You know, would Mark call with 8-6, Jack 8, Ace Jack, Ace 8? Yeah, why not? I mean, look, if he's going to call with King 8 on that flop, why can't he just call with any of those hands, you know, on turn? I don't know. Like, there's plenty of times to get a little tricky, deceptive against stations, man. Just bet. Like, you can just bet when you have it, you know.
I mean, I really.
And he is betting here, but would he have gotten called if he bets turn? I don't know, man. Probably not.
And he's
you know?
showing the king, it looks like.
Look, dude, I had the king of blue. Alrighty.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
Mark's got it. Jeremy's always bluffing for Bendo days. Mark, call. Kings and 8s? Or no, whatever. Aces and 8s, king? Nut kicker.
So new dealer sitting in. We should be having a bomb pot here in time.
2 guys on, no outs. Now they have 2 guys on.
Yeah, so Dream Seat Poker,
tilting.
some fish somehow has a sword. I don't know who gave him that kind of power.
Yeah, that seems crazy.
But says as much as he loves playing with Mark, you get about half of the hands per hour, if that. But the average pot is much more inflated.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Both of us are with you guys that it is Mark's unnecessary tanking is tilting. But, you know, look, when you got guys, when you have players at your table that you want to be and stay at your table, I
shut
guess
your
we
mouth
we
and
got to
you
give them
encourage it.
leeway. Exactly. Jonas103, thank you very much for the follow, man. We greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the Stones fam, brother. Hope you're having a good time on Master C's final Stones Live show. Feels terrible, man. But what feels great is that this is a bomb potosaurus.
Yes,
Everyone loves a bomb pot.
that's what I hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even wait for me to try to sing.
I don't.
It's just-
I've long. That train left the station. No pun intended.
Yes. Train is actually at his home station.
He
So
is
Mark
indeed.
just smashing the board here. Nobody else has
Wow.
a king unless somebody has like pocket 4s. Harlan does have a 4. He has running quad potential.
He's gonna need it.
And Harlan bet 75. Vince calls with the ace 10. I'm not sure why.
Wow.
He might not be familiar with
Bomb pots.
poker and bomb pot situations.
Yeah, that's a gift call. I'm not sure what he's hoping for on the turn.
And we will get an updated picture for Vince.
Now he's betting. You know what? This could be a card reader error.
The hat says math, but yeah, if this is not a card reading error, it's definitely meth.
Yeah, totally. Like, man, right when he got back from the bathroom, he just started betting a ton.
Yeah. He started vacuuming the floor and everything.
Lifting the table with one hand and vacuuming with the other.
Yelling at Mark, clock, clock,
Floor! Clock!
grinding his teeth.
And Mark, in slow-mo, is going to call.
So I gotta think the ace 10 is not really what he has.
Well,
We'll find out.
he makes a worthless banana top pair if that's what happens.
He does
here.
check.
Huh?
I saw a 10. That was a black 10 right there that he just flashed.
Wow,
So
so it was
presumably
ace
that's
10.
right.
Okay.
He was just turning his hand into a stone bluff, and that seems suboptimal.
It's tough to do in a ball pot.
Yeah.
I don't mind stabbing, especially
Right.
say if it like checks around on the turn or something, and then, or on the flop, and then checks you in pretty late position. You could definitely stab.
Sure.
You know, because people are going to
Maybe nobody has a king.
point,
Yeah.
right? And then maybe you just take it down, and,
Yeah.
and you do kind of a smallish like third pot like stab, and if it folds, great. If
Totally.
not, okay. Well, I guess I only I bet small, so it's really not that big of an issue.
Right, and I guess he figured like I have to continue my story here for another street if I'm gonna try and flop. But yeah, ill-fated ultimately.
By the way, Apostle, just ignore everything I said for if we're in a bomb pot hand together and I bet third pot. Just assume I have it. Just fold.
That's right.
Move on.
Yeah, what Master C says in here is it's never related to how he plays when he's at the table.
Right. I just soul read people.
That's right.
And there's no book for that.
What days were that, Mike?
Like in World War I guess. You just give them a bunch of meth before you chopped off their leg. I don't know.
Oh, I see. It's like that. It was anesthetic and painkiller, and yeah, sure. Oh yeah, sure. Like, I don't know that anyone ever thought it was good. Maybe like they didn't realize how bad.
Why are my teeth falling out? Well, now you don't have to brush.
So Jeremy is the only one who's going to like that flop. Everyone just whiffs it colossally. It goes check around.
Want to make? I can't even read your name.
And Jeremy bangs off the nut flush. The board is paired, but everyone has shown allergies to this pot. Oh, sorry. What am I saying? Brian had top pair in the flop. Sorry about that. So Jeremy is betting now, and is Brian folding? He flopped top pair. He's not folding. He's not folding. Man, that's a huge, huge $500 call there from Brian. That's a pot-sized bet. Oh, sorry, it was 300. Okay, 300. Still, though, nice hefty bet. Brian now checks, and Jeremy ships it. And Brian cannot call. And Jeremy going to win that one with the nut flush. And I guess, maybe Jeremy was just hoping Brian was getting tricky with 3 deuces and might be able to get value from that. I'm not really sure what he's hoping can call him there on the river. Weirdly played. So any chance you'll go sit down and play for a little, given that it's your last night, you're gonna mix in a little playing with the
I don't know. We
commentary?
just kind of wanted to hang out with the boys, but
okay.
one's doesn't want to be seen in public with us.
Yeah. It's like, I'll just be in my bedroom. You guys have fun.
Nap time.
You had friends that bragged about it in the 90s, Mike? Were they? Yeah, but like the synthetic form of it, right? Like diet pills and stuff, not just straight
Or it's
crystal,
just
right?
them being like, yeah, I could play 32 tables for 32
right.
hours.
Yeah, totally. That I could see. So Mark, who has had 8s be pretty nice to him tonight, sees another 8 here in his hand and is like, raise it. Maybe I can bust aces again.
And Jeremy's like, cool, bro, I know I got you. 9-7.
Got him.
Got the hand I'm looking for.
And Mark, he does flop
Open-ended.
open-ended. Now Jeremy's got the gut shot, and he's got the red 9 in his hand. But man, it's Mark with the betting lead, and he has all the aces, credibly, Oh, but Mark just checks and he hits it.
And this actually might prompt Jeremy to bet out here after it goes check, check. Now he has an open-end straight draw. But he does check. Mark's going to bet. Wow, and Jeremy's already calling. Just Snap gets those chips in. And a 9.
And Mark just makes a longer straight. Jeremy rivers top pair other than the ace. And what?
Did it go check, check? Or did Mark verbalize some kind of bet and then Jeremy just folded? Because a lot of times Mark will verbalize a bet. So that's probably what happened here. Mark just verbalized his bet. Jeremy was like, yeah,
No,
no,
he's
I'm
showing
not
his
going to call
cards.
anything. Oh,
What?
You didn't know he had a straight?
You know if I impact that, I'm
You
betting.
bet the nuts.
You know I'm betting.
You made the nuts on the turn and on the river.
You know if I knew, I thought I had 6-7. I thought I had. Bro, that is my bad. You know if I got the nuts, I'm betting. I'm throwing a chip in there. I thought I had 6-7. I thought I had the top pair of sixes with the opening and straight. Wow.
You can't keep the pot if you mismatch your hand, and that's why. That's the rule.
That's not
Yeah,
cool.
that's
But,
So apparently, according to Stones Like Poker, they're saying Mark thought he had 6-7. And Scott is practicing his earthquake drills. Get under the table.
No, it's the nuclear attack drill. You know, you get under your desk.
Yeah.
Protect yourself from the fallout, the radioactive fallout. Wow, he misread his hand. Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, it happens. And then, in all fairness, when you play every single hand, you can't be, held accountable for knowing what you have. Porter calls here, suited ace. Mark's gonna make it 300 because he's still pissed about last hand, and he just likes to raise it to 300. Ooh, and Vince is not helping himself with that picture. You can say it's math all you want.
how much?
But Vince is going to ship it over the top pocket sixes. He's already seen enough of this.
I only go once.
And they're just going to run it the one time.
Cost me another 4 once.
And man, Vince gonna have to win a flip here, and he's queen in the window.
Not going to do it.
And he's going to need one of the 2 remaining sixes quickly now. And that's the upside down 6. Not going to do it. Mark is going to win that flip. And Vince is busto. But he, I believe, is going to reload here. Yep. We're back in it. We're here to play. Mark going to scoop up that 775 there. And Vince is going to reload and play another day. Yeah, we have more, once Massa C's, seat cools down, we're going to need somebody to fill it. And, the thing is, Mike, if you're in here, man, then you can't be on the table. And I got to say, the game is much, it's, I like calling you play, dude. You're the one making the most interesting moves. And so, between, your stories are great. I'm sure there's a Rolodex of, floozy-related stories that we haven't tapped. But between that, man, and calling you play, it's close. Oh, yeah, what, Brian? It's so right. Yeah, and Mike, sitting here with a wine glass that's been empty for 25 minutes, but he's still just like the robotic bird.
Hey.
7,300.
So Harlan is going to open up here, and Vince is going to call him from the cutoff. Harlan would have liked to have had position here, but it's not going to happen. And these are 4 pretty motley hands. Porter flops the world, though, and everyone else is so far away from that. Man, look at the percentages. Porter with kings and the flush draw absolutely killed it. It goes check around, and Harlan does pick up some equity here, enough to probably continue here. Porter's going to lead for value at this point. And now that Harlan has made himself an open ender to the nuts in both directions, I would imagine he's coming along here. 235 from Porter, about a half. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. Wow, I would have thought Harlan would have continued there, but nope. Porter's bet is just going to take it down right here. Wow.
I turned an open ender, but I wasn't feeling it. Could have been the jack of clubs and all that. That would have been
Yeah, that's about when Moneymaker plays on the stream, it tends to be, here's some math for you guys. An average of a bottle per player is consumed, a bottle of red wine per player. Sounds about right.
Yeah, and Moneymaker also just drinks wine straight out of the bottle with a straw.
Yeah.
You know, but it's $100 or more bottle, because otherwise just don't even bother opening it for Moneymaker.
I mean,
It should be a wine drinker is his now name.
as long as we're going to be super literal with the last
Right.
names. Yeah, Chris Wine Drinker in the Stones booth tonight. So what's the classier move? Drinking the cheap bottle properly out of a proper glass, or the expensive bottle via a curly straw?
Yeah, the curly straw.
Yeah.
Blue Waves, thank you very much for the follow. We love you.
Appreciate it a lot. Welcome to the Stones fam, dude.
Yeah. And when I'm at the table with you guys, I'll drink. I am the one that, when we come for the Veronica and friends, I just bring personal champagne bottles to everybody.
There you go. Big Sox Fan 05, thanks, man, for that follow. We appreciate you guys hitting that follow button very much. And I hope you're having a good time hanging out, watching some cash poker action on Stones Live for Master C's last show and my not last show.
Scott is the old guard now.
Isn't that weird? Man.
It feels weird that I'm the old guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuckman would do commentary if he wasn't so busy picking up Uber shifts.
Oh, sick burn, Kurt. So it looks like this is a $20 straddle, and there's a bunch of limpers, and Brian with the old 9-7 suited. I think he raised, right? Yeah, he did raise, and then the graphics are catching up here. That looks like a call from Jeremy and a call. God, really? 6 deuce? I mean, even for Mark, man, that seems crazy. Okay. So nobody has anything. A 4 for Jeremy? Wow. So Brian is continuation betting, pretending like he has something. This is a good time to do it. I mean, I'm not really sure what flop Jeremy was hoping for with 5-4. He has flopped the best hand, but he can't continue. So I guess he was maybe trying to flop a straight or what. But Brian, in his aggressive play, is going to get it done. He gets his opponents to call with every card combo in the deck, and then he just bets on the flop and wins because everyone called with hands that couldn't really hit. So there you go.
God damn it. Queen Jack.
I am moving to Vegas.
Yeah, well, Beffer, hey, thanks for the follow, Beffer. We appreciate that very much.
I couldn't think of a Beffer name to call yourself.
And with puns like that, what are we going to do without this guy, man? What are you going to be doing in Vegas?
I'm going to go back to dealing, keep playing, and save, and try to start up a few businesses so we can have passive income.
Ah, yep.
Because I want to be able to do whatever the hell I want to do. Not have to show up someplace.
That
or have to play.
That is definitely one of the benefits of having your own business. I will tell you, though, get ready. Get ready for the government and your employees to make all the money.
Well,
not
first
you.
off, I'm not planning on having employees. I'm
Okay,
not giving away my business strategy because I don't need competition.
That helps.
But, yeah, so I'm going to limit that aspect as best as possible. But, yeah, I'm well aware of all of the ingenious ways that the government can tax you.
It is definitely a grind, man. Poker's a grind, of course. Working for someone else is a grind. Having your own spots, it's all a grind, man. It's all just trade-offs. Some good parts, some bad parts, and it's
the idea is ideally to get something that makes money without your continuous effort.
Yes, that is the key. Is it's like it. Even though it's very tough to make profitable businesses, it is nice to think that something is making money for you while you're not there working.
Right.
Yes.
Or it takes less effort. Like, at least for you, you got the employees, so you don't have to be at the store. But a lot of people, they'll own their own business, but they are there. They're putting in 100-hour weeks. That's not for me. King 7-5. Vince here, top pair.
He's talking about it. See if he's going to be about it.
No, you had to do it dark.
Yeah, this flop kind of hits.
Yeah, Dream, see, if you want to, go scouting business locations.
Vince is going to bet for value. Yes, yeah. Mostly, he's only interested in the scouting part. There's that one place I need to go scout again, if you'll pardon me. And you're scouting it again? Is it third time this week?
I just like the candles in there.
So yeah, value bet here from Vince. Just thinks he has the best hand, even against all these players. He is correct. Porter is not going down without a fight here with a 7. And God, that is a ridiculous overcall by Jeremy. I can't believe that overcall. If he wants to call, if Vince bet and it went fold to him and he's like, oh, I have a 7 and the backdoor hearts, I'm going to call. But when it goes bet call in front of you, good Lord, man, that just seems so ambitious. So we'll see. We'll see if Jeremy can get creative and try to take the pot away later or make the best hand somehow. He's drawing real thin and he doesn't have that much behind, so I'm confused by the call, but maybe Jeremy knows something I don't.
Rick Jackson, thank you very much, and absolutely, I will be in the chat, and you guys will be accusing me for being drunk just because I'm being ridiculous.
Mastasy, hammered drunk.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, no big deal, right, Greg Sullivan? Just $300, 5 ways. NBD, 3K out there.
Standard game. What? This doesn't happen in your 1-2 games? Your 2-5 games? I thought the stream games were honest, depiction of the games in the area.
Yeah, sure. So the board does pair on the turn, but it is not the 7 that Porter and Jeremy were looking for. However, Jeremy just pick up a flush draw, and Porter shoves. Is this another card reader error? This is insane.
Porter's just
and Jeremy snaps.
Comes up to play today.
And Vince is like, I have the best hand, you effers.
And Porter's take back.
Yeah,
take back.
Psych, JK, lol. And it is a heart. God, Jack 9 of hearts was folded too. Jeremy backs into a flush. Really? And Vince is going to see how unlucky he just got, and he's a pro. He just kind of knocks the table and says, GG. Good God, Jeremy finds a miracle run out.
Nice
miracle
hand.
Run out.
Nice hand. You got to catch from time to time.
Wow. Take note, if you guys are newer to the game, or you found this stream only recently, or maybe tonight even, just because the Queen 7 of Hearts won that hand does not make any. It doesn't undo the logic of what I was saying earlier about that overcall being suboptimal, right? So in other words, on the flop, when he has those pair of 7s and Vince bets and Porter calls, and then the action is to Jeremy, he has 3 options there, right? He can fold after it's gone bet call in front of him. 2 opponents are showing strength. We can call, which is what he opted to do. We can fold because our opponents could probably have better hands than us. Or we could raise and sort of pretend like we're stronger than we really are. Pretend like we sort of make the action that we would make if we had 7-7 in the hole, right? Instead of 7 queen. And so the raise would make some sense to me. We're going to try to get something sort of marginal, like King Jack. All of a sudden, if facing a raise like that, a call and a raise, a King Jack is going to have no idea where they're at, and their hand is going to shrivel up a lot. Call seems like the worst of the 3 options, because now we are facing 2 opponents who have shown strength. We're drawing to, a queen or a 7 on the turn? Maybe that's not even good. Maybe our opponent has King 7. Or, of course, running hearts. He has 3 to a flush. He has backup hearts.
Okay, we need to address something in the chat that's going on right now. Dream Seat Poker saying, nights like tonight make me wish I'd hire a nanny so I could be there to play. We've been saying that forever. Like, come on, Mike. Come on, bro. Make the nannies rich.
It would not be a bad tagline for Stones, Kurt. Welcome to Stones Live, your home for suboptimal calls.
Can you address Rick Jackson's question?
600.
What am I going to miss most about Chris? That is a good question, Rick. I think what I'm going to miss most is the forlorn look on his face when Ace Queen loses.
Don't worry, that's imprinted into your mind.
I can always flash on it whenever I want to.
Every time you close your eyes, you see me just shaking my head, rolling my eyes, and saying it wasn't played well.
Hey, is that 600? Make sure you count.
Go, Sam. It sounds like sitcom in the making. I lost my bankroll to Mike Postle, so I had to become his nanny.
Totally. The judge ordered I become his nanny for a year.
That's actually a sick way to like finally get money out of Mike Postle. I'll babysit your kid, no worries. I mean, they make pretty good money, right? Like nannies. Like I always hear childcare is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it adds up.
Sick girl 69.
Hey,
what's going on?
Where's Train?
Sleeping.
Yeah, he's feeling a little under the weather, unfortunately, and he's trying to get better for this weekend.
Yeah, what really matters to him that we see.
That's right. All right, so here, Frederick is all in pre, and he's going to need to hit, and he does not. The best hand still is Mark. His nine's
So he's
held.
still drawing live.
Yep, goes check around. Brian and Vince add flush draws to the mix, and they get there. Brian's 9 is good. That's a 2K pot. That's going to be heading in Brian's direction.
One pair.
I think. Yeah?
Brian's like, I'm still not believing this run out.
Wow.
This is a, as we await this plot to be shoved over in Brian's direction. Grand Theft Chips is like you can always buy a new family. Man, it reminds me. So you'll love this too. I'm reading a biography of Theodore Roosevelt right now, and some of the growing up years antics of when it was like Theodore Senior and like young Teddy and all of the Roosevelts that lived in like New York, and they were old. They were old money,
Yeah.
And some of the conduct. The buy a new family reminded me. Was it one of the like the cousins or something that you have to? I don't remember exactly who it was, but because I'm almost done. And it was way back in the beginning of the book. But one of the guys literally was keeping two families on the same block. The same block.
Wow.
He literally had two houses like a block away on like East 57th and East 56th or whatever the hell it is, and had two families, two wives, multiple kids, and he kept this going for years. It didn't even come to light until after the guy was already dead.
Good for him.
Good for him. Could that be a good life? That cannot. You're pulling the Mrs. Doubtfire scene where you're dashing back and forth between the tables, but like IRL and families.
You'd just be you'd be like super fat, but you'd also be kind of skinny because you're running back and forth. You have like two of every meal, but then you have to run back and forth for every meal, so you kind of burn it off.
100% happy, right? That was a painful slow roll. I thought he won the bottom. You got me. Look, if you want to see a slow roll, let me show you.
All right, everybody's just limping in here, and Jeremy's gonna raise. He didn't win a big pot not to put those chips in play. Helps that he has ace king. Makes it 100 to go. Mark is rolling out, just like Ludacris. I don't know if he has his twin Glock 40s though.
Wow.
A lot of kings there for Mark.
A smashing of the flop here for Jeremy. And that is a flop you have destroyed so thoroughly that nobody can have anything. But Porter, wow, the ace of diamonds is not ready to give up. Good luck, Porter. And that's it. Check mark for Jeremy.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah, Jeremy might want to just check this one
You should have
over
kept
to
that to
Porter.
yourself.
I agree with him. I agree 100%.
And man, Porter did not come to mess around today.
He's all into the hand.
3-10 looks like the bet.
He still shouldn't say.
Wait, did you just go all in?
He did have a 7 in the city.
He went all in.
A check jam from Jeremy, and Porter says, "See ya." And Jeremy's jamming there just in case Porter has ace of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, has a legitimate draw. Then he just doesn't see a river card. And is Porter going to be playing a total airball that way very often? I don't think so.
Well, normally we'd say no.
No.
But today,
Today,
Porter
yeah, I
is
guess
just
so.
mashing the crazy button.
Kind of a tough spot to do that with the ace of diamonds in your hand, because that's a key blocker card to something you might be able to, like what your opponent might have an ace high flush draw that you could get to fold, but you're holding that card kind of makes it tough. Yeah, Porter's just trying to take that pot away. It didn't work.
Yeah. Also, he probably thinks Jeremy is fairly fit or fold. So if Jeremy checks back on the turn, he thinks he's just going to fold most of the time. When he bets
he's
out
open
100,
checking to
300.
fold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure. Yep.
I mean, that's why he's calling on the flop.
Yeah, and then he
And then
figures
he
like
gets
if
the
Jeremy
check.
right, yeah, if
So
Jeremy
he follows
right.
through on his plan,
and it
it's
doesn't
just
work.
Bad timing.
100%. Yep. Mike's like, I can barely handle 2 girlfriends at the same time. How does someone handle 2 wives? Yeah, it's a good question. Personally, I think any man who wants more than one family deserves all the grief he gets. Goes, yeah, I would, yeah. Whatever the hell transpires in that guy's life, it is richly deserved for sure.
That was painful. I saw the pain in your eyes.
Crossfucks, like back in the day, it was alarmingly common for people to just skip town and go start another family without one being aware of the other. My friend's grandpa did that. No one found out until he died. Yeah, in previous times, like all throughout human history until the last 5 freaking seconds, when there wasn't communication, or like you were just off in another town, you were just gone.
You just
were
go to the
gone.
other side of town.
Yeah, or a block away. He was a block away. Pretty marginal holdings here for everybody. Jeremy found the queen he needed. Wow.
Computer hand. Gonna win it this time.
There you go.
So what's slow roll, Big Sox fan? Big Sox fan
Yeah, I
saying
see
Mark's
that.
claiming that he, is leaving because of the slow roll, but he's leaving because he wants to lock down the 8K. He says he's seen this dog and pony show before. I don't think Mark gives 2 craps about the 8K.
That's also true. Yeah, everybody used to smoke cigarettes, and so they could always just be like, I'm going out there with smoke. And you could get away with murder, literally, because you could always just be like, I was smoking, man. I was on the back porch. You didn't see me? But now nobody smokes. What's your excuse, dude?
I feel like a lot of the Midwest is kind of looking around like, no one smokes.
That's right, guy on the coast.
Yeah,
Nobody smokes. It's not that we didn't listen to the table chat, Big Sox fan. It's that we don't hear the table chat in this booth. We don't have a setup that allows us to hear table chat in this booth. But if you would like to enlighten us, we would love to hear what he said. He said it right after he racked? Okay. David Morales is like, hey, Postle made Berkey look like a fish on Saturday. Yeah, and as I was saying earlier in the stream, Berkey was sitting in here after the fact, sort of stunned. Like he'd just been hit with the Postle stun gun.
So Harlan here, top pair, Porter with a flush draw, and if time's any indication, Porter is not going to be slowing down. Porter bets out, bets out 110. Harlan is going to be calling. Harlan calling with the chips that he might not care about, like we talked about last time. Could be a live tell. Pay attention to what people call with. When people have nutted or perceived nutted hands, a lot of times they'll use their big chips because they know they're coming back. And in marginal situations, use their lower denomination chips because they kind of see those as more expendable. Not always true, just something to pay attention to. And Porter gets there with the flush.
Man.
And Porter's going to keep on betting here.
Yeah,
Small bet.
it's a diamond, but it's a small card. I mean,
That's 115. It's only $5 more. Mark, thanks very much for playing. And we will see you on the next stream.
There you go. Harlan calls with the best hand on the flop, folds when he's outturned. Seems pretty reasonable and well played by both players. Yeah, you know, and I also saw I saw some comments more along the sort of trolling lines of, you know, like, oh yeah, sure, you know, like, oh, Postel makes those moves and yeah, it worked, but like, man, you know, I would like that guy, you know, he's playing small stakes, you know, like, you can sit down on that other show, you know, and just get wrecked. I mean, again, these are people that just, like, they don't know Postel or the concept of, like, what winning poker is. Like, they're so focused on the stakes, but it's not the first time I've seen this, right? They're, like, so focused on the stakes played rather than the decisions being made that it blinds them to the quality of the play.
Yeah, and oftentimes the higher you go in the stakes, the easier the game is, you know, as far as making money, because you have people like, you know, pretty big business people that just torch off money, you know, or rich people will just torch off money. So it's like maybe the quality of the good player is really good, but the deep pockets and willingness to give away money of the splashy players is like infinitely better.
Sure. So for every, like, yeah, at the huge game in Bobby's room, like, Eliezer is going to be there and Doyle's going to be there, but like, so's Guy La Liberté, and he's got $100,000 in front of him.
I hear he's a big winner.
Really? Is that right?
Yeah, and didn't he have like 7, you know, accounts on Full Tilt, and like all of them were the number 1 account?
Everyone's got high cards, and that's a low board. But a cooler card for Harlan, who thinks he for sure just turned the best hand. He didn't. Tom's going to go for value here. Oh, yeah, and that's the other part, too. Like, putting aside the fact that, like, the people are like, well, you know, oh, I'm not focused on the decisions he's making. I'm only focused on the stakes he's playing, which is obviously foolish. Mike has also played for whatever big stakes you're thinking he's not playing now. Like, you think Mike would care about sitting down on Live at the Bike and buying in for, whatever, 40 grand or what? I don't even know. Are they even playing for that much? I don't think so.
Yeah, and Mike just said, you know, like, he used to regularly play with Devilfish, Helmuth, Esfandiari, Brad Booth, Palad.
Mike is no stranger to the high stakes. But again, like, that's just not how you're going to learn or take anything away, man. Like, are the decisions made, like, interesting and good? Not how much are they playing for, but, like, how good are the decisions? That seems, like, really simple to me. People seem very, very, very preoccupied with the stakes.
Yeah, clearly those guys used to be good, so you know the game's totally passed Mike by.
Of course, yeah. You know, Mike was good in like 2007.
Bro, who have you played against lately?
That's right. What up, Kevin Bostner? Hey, nice to see you, dude. Oh, no, I'm not throwing shade, Ghost. He's just the first non-poker player business mind that popped into my head, you know? So, I mean, who would you rather sit with? Jamie Gold or Guy La Liberté?
Guy.
There you go.
You know why? Because Guy will let me take the bet back, you know, on a 50-50, like 50-50 run for more money than I want to lose. He's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just just take it back, and we'll just play for. We'll just run it out. We'll just tip the dealer. I'm like, cool.
That other show does 5100 games on Fridays. Yeah, there you go. Like, if you guys think that. Not that anyone here has said this. I'm more referring to what I saw from a few days ago. If anybody thinks that like Mike wouldn't be able to hold his own in the 5100 game down at the Bike.
Some Russian guy. Thank you very much for the follow.
I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. And this board is far away from both of these guys. Looks like Joe tried once on the flop. That was it. Porter's ace high is good. If Joe goes for a bluff here, it's going to work.
Back.
But he cannot do it. He just checks back. And Porter going to be pretty stoked, even though that pot was not big. Pretty stoked to scoop up those chips with just ace high. Boom.
Gentlemen, that was my last hand.
We were mentioning this earlier, guys, that the Stones Fall Classic Poker Series is coming up in just a couple of weeks here. We're doing $50 Press Your Luck satellites leading up to it, and it all starts on September 30. Got some special guests coming into town. It's going to be a blast, and we are on the air 7 nights in a row here on Stones. So if you haven't already, please hit the like and follow and subscribe buttons, and hang out with us for the Stones Fall Classic coming up at the beginning of October. Cheese31, thanks for the Twitch follow, man. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good time hanging out, watching this 5-5 no limit game with a straddle.
Need 2 more, Justin.
Big LA and Vegas Bros playing on that other show, and yeah, I did. I saw Helmuth and Matisow play on that game. Honestly, man,
Cringy.
they didn't play that great. You know, I mean, they were just. Again, I'm like focused more on the decisions that I see being made, and that was like a really obviously a small sample size. Far be it from me to like question. I mean, Helmuth is obviously one of the best poker players who's ever lived. Matisow's had a lot of good results over his lifetime too. But you know, from that little tiny sample size that I saw of the cash game, Mike would hold his own just fine against those guys.
Oh. So JFK is saying that he wants to bet Grand Theft chips that he'll have Helmuth at Stones before the year is over.
Whoa, those are big words. It's not. I mean, it seems reasonable to me. Phil is in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
so he's somewhat local.
Dude, I'm losing so much here, I can't afford it.
Oh, there you go. It looks like you have some takers in the chat there, JFK. So we got a $10 straddle here.
70.
So a couple new players here to the game. We got HL, we got Vic, 2 well-known crushers in the area.
Play Tuesday?
It's a good point, Ghost. How sure can he be? Look at that flop for Brian. Wow. Luckily for Brian, Porter's going to take a little stab here. This would be a spot for Brian to just call. 2, 5, 6 rainbow. Not a lot of turn cards we're not going to like. And he does just call. That just makes Brian's straight even longer. Unfortunately for Brian, Porter has absolutely nothing. He didn't hit that ace. Brian checks again, and Porter has nothing. So he's like, I don't want to get any closer to showdown. Like, doesn't Brian have a lot of hands that might call on the flop, but now will not call on the turn? Like, you know, Queen 5 suited, something like that would like call on flop, but then really not know what to do or want to continue on turn. Obviously, a flop straight isn't going anywhere, and Porter's timing is not terrific here, but totally reasonable. He can't check and get closer to showdown. What's he trying to do on the river? So he's just going to see if a second barrel will get it done.
Right?
Huh?
Scare card comes. This is like, if you're planning on double barreling, the ace is the card you wanted to see.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So how sick is JFK, man? Just gets, like, he makes it happen. Like, we want some awesome guests, want some awesome shows. JFK makes it happen. Takes sucker bets from people. And Brian shoves.
Did you catch that water?
Oh, yeah.
Matisow has bracelets, though, SD? Yeah, that's for sure true. Matisow is a legend in the poker world, and he has had a lot of tournament cashes and bracelets won in his life. I know he's also had some less than terrific times and cold runs, as one is, it's part of poker, right? So the bracelets are only one side of the story, man. How down is the downside of the story?
So we only have one rule here in chats. Just don't be an asshole. It's fine if you disagree with how someone's playing or think they make a foolish move. And it's okay to verbalize that. Just do so in a constructive and respectful manner. Let us be the idiots.
We won't disappoint.
Yeah.
Ghost is not understanding, like, people are playing poker for bracelets. Like, why not just play for cash? It seems hard to play for jewelry. Like, you bet your earrings, and I raise you a toe ring, and you 3-bet me with your necklace. I mean,
Ghost says that, but I see him in them tournament streets.
Did you count both streaming sites?
Mike's like, yeah, I'm not rich, dude. I have, poker's my income, and I'm a single dad in California. Kind of hard to have a monster bankroll when your overhead is not low.
Greg, you'll be able to type again in like 5 minutes.
Tally, seat open there, Tally.
Is this a bomb pot? It looks like a bomb potosaurus to me here. Yeah, Ghost is speaking the truth that players didn't used to say. They would like do the
give me the money.
They would do like the B-roll interview, and then people would always be like, "I don't care about money. I just want to win the bracelet." Like, yeah, right.
On,
Did the
bro.
producer tell you to say that?
Yeah. Then just give me the money.
Yeah, I'll take the money. You take the bracelet, dude. If we get to heads up, let's strike that deal.
Give me
I'll take first place money.
Give me
first and second.
place
You take
money.
third place money, and I'll give you the bracelet.
You just don't take any money. What the hell is Kurt? What are you even talking about right now?
Kurt's on one over there.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, are you serious? It was WPT Fallsview last year that a guy made a deal with Mike Leah because he wanted the trophy. Really? Look that up. I would like confirmation on exactly what happened there. If ever a deal along the lines we just described was actually struck because somebody really just wanted the trophy. But see, then it's like, dude, you didn't really win the trophy. You just like you have the physical trophy on a technicality. Is that really what you mean?
Well, the other thing is, are you clearing that with your backer?
Right.
Because that sounds like only someone that's like backed like to make that kind of thing.
Mr. La Liberté, you don't understand. Yeah. I got the bracelet.
Yeah, unless he's super rich.
30. Please fact check the details of that. I need to know what that deal actually was.
Yeah, just give me the money.
Give me the money. And yeah, what is happening here? Are we gonna play short-handed? Are we gonna play a little 7 max? Oh, really?
We don't need that.
Oh, are you still coming to the grenade tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Be there at like 5.
Cool.
A little before.
Mike said he's like I had a guy offer me first place money heads up because he wanted a trophy. Are you serious, Mike? What was the event? That's just what a gift. And Mike's like I turned him down and won anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. Mark's like
I got the trophy and the first place money.
Like, if they're going to offer me that, then I'm going to start digging into their second place money, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
how bad do you want it?
Well, exactly.
Chris, now you're being greedy. You want the trophy.
Yeah, you're the one who brought it up.
I mean, especially when you start your negotiation at that.
Where's there to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. Mike's like, I acted like I was pondering. I acted like I was tanking and considering my decision. And ultimately, I was like, enjoy it, bruh. I have like 7 more where that came from. I'll take the money. Brian here, Colin with the ace, and he has the check mark on the turn. HL tried to get something better than King High to fold, but it was not to be. HL rivers a flush draw. That's about the end of the hand. Brian giving maximum rope here to HL, but HL was only going to try to bluff one time.
When you have a real decision, you take your time, right?
And Brian going to show his ace and scoop it up.
When I put a big pot, I want to think about the pot. I'm not gonna play slow when I'm like raise 35, someone call, and I'm just thinking for 3 minutes. But if I'm on the river and the pot is 1K, I need to call 1K. I want to think.
Everybody's just mailing it in for my last day.
Right?
Yeah, no table. Everyone's like, man.
I didn't even say much, and you're like, going in deep.
So yeah, Mark unfortunately bounced out of there with the like 8K he was sitting on.
Well, they left because they are not joking. They're like serious.
But whatever, we're on to the next one. And whatever the hell these guys are doing, we have another about an hour and 45 left here on tonight's cash stream before we shoot some marbles.
Taylor, answer my question.
No. That's, yeah, if anybody wants a participation ribbon, I'm going to start selling them in the Rio. Yeah, how long, if ever, until the SJW thing infects the poker world, and now we just, like, everybody places. Like, even first to bust is going to get a participation bracelet. And, like, a $5 chip, because, you know, everyone's got to get something, right? We don't want to make nobody feel bad. So 3-bet here from HL with them queens, and he's got to fade some aces and threes, and he does. Never too happy to see the board pair like that. I mean, when you're up against two heads up, no problem. Even 3 ways, he's still confident in his queens, I'm sure. But you're never that, you know, what if someone just says like 10 jack?
I don't think you ever.
So it goes check, but HL's not too worried about that 10. He's going to fire a value bet. Yep. And I wonder if Brian's folding to 1 bet here. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out, dude. We're glad you're having a good time.
Apostle says he's a single dad now, but hiring for a wife or nanny. Might I suggest Amazon.com? I think they sell that, right? They sell everything else.
Sure.
But definitely search in the. You have to filter that through the Russian, Russian side of Amazon.com.
That's true. But with Prime shipping, you know, she might be over here from Russia by next Monday if you order within the next 16 hours.
No, I thought it was like in the next 38 hours they'll get to you. Hey, Greg, you didn't call him a donk. You were a little bit rougher than that.
Wow, Brian's going to call the value bet on the river. Wow. He's not ready to give HL credit for a hand better than 10s and 3s because the turn went check. And HL gets a whole lot of value out of Brian there, who didn't... You know, he just thought HL, I guess, could be, a continuation bet with ace-king or whatever on the flop, and then on the turn he was like, crap, it didn't work, and then on the river he's like, I have to bluff to win. Replay.
Yep. So this is the putt of the night so far. The 3-way all-in. Yeah, and that's where Jeremy made the flush on the river 6K pot. Thank you, Taylor. Alpha Med, what's going on? King 8-2. Pocket 9's still ahead. Tabashi, thank you very much.
Fast insta calls. Check.
What? Yep, I knew it.
So with a couple of those big stacks leaving, as you guys can see, the amount of money on the table has decreased significantly, but there's still a nice $15,000 out there. Oh, yes, cool. Thank you, Ghost. I'm looking forward to the explanation. Okay, so Leia wrote that you offered the deal. Why you, the guy's name, offered the deal immediately upon heads-up play being reached. Leia said he had not considered dealing up to that point, but you provided very favorable. I added very. You provided favorable terms. Each player would take chip value, and Leia would get to take the trophy, the seat, and the official win, with the value of the seat and the fact that Leia was signing for first place money factored into the deal. So. Yu was actually leading the tournament, but he gave up ICM and the trophy to entice Leia. Okay, so in other words, you just thought Leia was going to run it, was going to steamroll, presumably, right? Flush draw for Brian here, and nobody else has much.
Vic turns his ace.
Wow. Vic just checks and calls on the flop and hits his money card. But Brian, yeah, well, that's the deuce of, the front door flush, of course.
Yeah.
Taylor messing around with the deuce of pumpkins. That is not a blank deuce. That is a very relevant deuce. And indeed, it completes Brian's flush. And now here, Vic, after checking flop and turn, is river betting for value. And he is going to get a rude awakening momentarily. That Brian, with his suited double down, has made the flush. I would imagine Brian goes, God, are we really not raising here? What? Why does Brian not raise? I don't understand.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know him and Vic have played a decent amount, so you just might really respect Vic's game. And just one of those things, like maybe Vic's just kind of held over him, so he's a little gun shy. Tough to say.
Seems like some missed value there. All of the aces up type hands can all call you pretty damn hard for your opponent to have better than the 8 high flush. But all right, so Brian was a little gun shy there and opted to just call and win the money. I think he was just wanting to lock up the cash, and Leia really wanted the trophy, so it was a win-win. Oh, okay. Right, exactly. That the guy who had the chip lead is normally not the guy who wants the deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. The 2 on the river is very often irrelevant. In that exact spot, it was extraordinarily relevant.
Yes. When it completes the front door flush draw, we all get scared. All right, Dan, 3-betting here with pocket queens on the button. Makes it 155 to go.
Oh, there's a Pimo in the chat. Paul Martin, what up, Pimo? We're missing you, brother. Dan, 3-betting with the honeys. Yeah, Stone's suboptimal call. Another Stone's live suboptimal call by Brian. All right, the honey's got to fade some cards here, and they do, but you hate the ace high board a lot, and your opponents have hands that can blow you off your queens here. Brian has the second pair. Vic has a flush draw. Dan's hand is still good here for now.
It's going to check around.
Yeah, because he hates it. And Binksky, Vic makes it.
And Porter hits a set as well.
Wow, what a turn card.
And things could probably get a little bit crazy here before it even gets back to Dan.
Yeah, this is crazy. So Porter just thinks he turned the best hand here so often, even 4 ways. Dan has a redraw to the best flush, and since the flop went check around, he's going to think his hand is under-repped and his draw is good. He's never going anywhere. So look at that snippety snap call, and now it's the Porter. It's gone bet call in front of him.
And he just rips it.
All in.
And Vic's like, oh.
It's unlucky for Porter here that somebody's going to show up with a flush. I mean, the flop went check around, and now someone's going to show up with spades.
But it's this multi-way, and also the pre-flop razor was on the button, so it makes sense that people are going to check to the initial better.
Yeah, you're right. Sure, and that's what happened here. Yep. And Vic is going to win the money. Porter misses his board pair. He's going to see that he caught the alto unlucky run out. 3 of spades, brick. And the 6-5 of spades, the suited double down, in the words of Mike, is going to get it done. Wow, unlucky for Porter, man. From the same article, just over a year ago, he who shall not be named, and Patrick Serta made a much-discussed deal in the EPT Prague 10K high roller. Despite holding more than a 4-1 chip lead, Serta happily made off with the majority of the cash and signed for second place despite a higher official payout. He who shall not be named took the official title and trophy, but only about 2/3 of Serta's payout. Whoa, that is crazy. Wow. Yeah, he agreed to take 10K less in exchange for the trophy. Wow, that's wow. Yeah, that is true, Bad Beat. Yeah, the river queen. 2 queens folded on the turn with that queen of spades flush draw too, but you know, when it goes shove and then there's a call, it's obviously an easy fold. You're drawing to a spade, maybe. That is not a good use of the word literally, Grand Theft Chips. Porter is literally trying to lose. I don't think that's what literally means. I literally jumped out of my skin. Both of these guys whiff. HL made a raise from the big after Vic limped to him. Or sorry, no, wrong. That's Vic's straddle. So HL is now going to bet. They both whiffed. Vic folds. There you go. I guess World Series of Poker bracelets have cash value, but I've yet to see a trophy worth more than like 100. Yeah, but even World Series of Poker bracelets, what do they get at auction? Like a couple grand?
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, like, obviously it depends. Some of the new ones maybe get a little bit more based on like the actual materials a little bit more. But yeah, it just depends. And then, you know, if Phil Ivey is selling off one of his kind of standard bracelets, that might fetch more because he's a name, you know.
Oh, sure,
like,
of course.
You know,
some random name you've never heard of who won
random
some $500 buy-in.
Any of the 1,000 no-name people that have won in the last like 10 years.
100%. A perfect word? No, no, it was not. He's literally giving his chips. Yes, he is, but you didn't say that. You said he's literally trying to lose his chips. Wrong.
No, he's succeeding.
He is succeeding, yeah. All right, classic coin flip. The 5s have held. And that's not a bad flop for 5s. It goes check, check. Good turn card. 5s are still good here. Does Brian want to take a stab? No. Check, check again. And it backs into the dummy straight. 5s do. Yeah, Mike's like, I'm not a fan of He Who Shall Not Be Named. I mean, man, anybody who is suspect. Of suspect character. You know who I'm a huge fan of is OJ.
Howard, the tight end for the Bucks?
Precisely.
Yeah. I wish he would start, you know, catching some more touchdowns.
Also, Mao was cool. You know? And Genghis Khan was all right.
Maui onion?
Yeah, that's right. The kettle, the potato chips. Oh, my God, those sweet onion.
And
feels
Genghis
great, man.
Khan barbecue, right? It's like where you go through like a buffet style with, you know, a bowl, and then you give it to the guys, and they have a big round wheel of hot, and then they like cook it for you.
That's exactly that's a huge
Genghis
fan.
Khan's.
Yep. Yeah, that's true, Duck Papa. This is kind of an out of character stream so far for Porter. He's not been on the top of his game, and normally Porter is a crusher.
5 with the flop. Brian with the flush draw here. And somehow Dan's betting second pair. It's just amazing to me. I don't know. I'm just a nit, I guess.
Nit.
Let me just bet like second pair, nothing else, into a field of 4 other people. I don't know. Hope it goes well.
Yeah. Bet and pray. The old bet and pray.
That's when you take your chips and go, I hate you. Never come back.
Goodbye. And here we are, and Dan has found
What do I know?
aces full.
He just knows. He just knows it's gonna go running running aces.
Sure.
He's like, bro, I got like best boat. What are you talking about? That's why you don't. That's why you're not allowed to work as commentator anymore.
That's right. You're fired.
Yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm getting asked to leave.
Yeah, there was the whole exchange between JFK and Chris where, you know, JFK was
wasn't
like,
much
"You're
of an
fired," and
exchange.
then Chris was like, "You can't fire me if I quit."
Yeah. You came in here and you're fired.
Yeah, that's right. And Chris is like, "I'm going to the buffet."
The Buffett?
The buffet. I'm gonna go read Warren
I'm going
Buffett's
to
book.
the land of the Buffetts.
All right, so back on track here for Porter, hopefully, with a limp. $10 straddles on. Porter's going to call it.
Bruce Yankovic is going to call as well.
Good question. SD's like, so you're going to go join the Thirst Lounge too?
No.
Yeah, you're going to go live in the islands?
Although next year might be pretty enticing.
Next year?
Yeah. There's just rumors about it being much bigger. Like the amount of money that each player is getting.
Oh.
I'm not planning on it. I have a plan that I'm trying to attack, but if that rumor is true, I might as well set in a submission.
Seems like it's going to be pretty tough going if there's a ton of money on the line. Presumably a lot more people are going to apply.
Sure. Whatever. If I don't get it, I don't get it. Shucks. If I get it, cool.
So Joe going to get it done there. He bets a second time on the turn. He is not value betting, even though he had the best hand. He is simply trying to get a hand with a lot of equity, like Porter's, to fold, and it works. And there you go. So we are a little over an hour away, guys, from the conclusion of tonight's stream. We're going to shoot some marbles in a little over an hour. Did you say we're giving something for that, or we were giving something for something, right?
We're giving a hat away for, the guessing the top pot of the night.
Yeah.
So far, the top pot is Jeremy with his 6K pot. Nobody had picked him. So we might not have a winner for the top pot, in which case the hat just goes to marbles.
There you go.
And it looks like we will be ending a little bit early tonight.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Just more time for us to have fun.
There you go.
Yeah, JFK says we'll have a bonus race tonight, and the winner gets me.
There you go.
So
Let me go throw up.
you're welcome. What are you getting? You didn't see that. I guess I won't be getting salt and pepper shrimp. Jack deuce 4, pocket 10, still ahead.
65.
Dan's going to bet this board. Not a bad board to bet. Should miss most people. But even though this missed Tom and there's an overcard to Tom's 10s, he's still going to call. Brian calling with the 1 pair, thinking if he hits an ace, it'll be good for him. Or another 4. Brian's going to check. It's just going to check. Jesus. And Tom just rivers the full house. And Brian, early position, should be betting here. Wow, and Brian goes for the slow play? Tom's going to bet. Super small. Bets 65.
Oh my God, this board.
No, bets 80. How does Brian not raise right here?
What a run out. Jeez, are you kidding me? How did the action go on flop and turn?
Dan continued. Tom called. Brian called. I think, and then it went check around on the turn.
Brian
So
is
Brian raises to 350, and we're going to see a shipperoo from Tom.
Was that a ship? I think that was just a re-raise, but not a ship.
I would expect to see a shipperoo, but yep, looks like he just raises that amount. And Brian should be folding here. It was a value raise, and you can't.
Yeah,
you can't
you
raise
just
call.
executed a river check raise for value, and then you got 3-bet.
Yeah.
Tom is literally never bluffing. Not an all-in. Nope. He just made it 1.1.
Oh.
Now Brian can only beat a bluff here. Now, okay, let's explore. Would Tom ever do this
No.
with a worse 4? 4 king?
Honestly,
No. he would not.
very infrequently, but that would be like the best of what Brian could beat. And like I said, it's super infrequent that Tom would do that.
He would not do that. He would
Right.
just call Brian's raise.
I think for the vast majority of the time, absolutely. Like I said, I could give him maybe a couple times over like infinity kind of a thing, but for all intents and purposes, I don't think he does it.
It would make it wouldn't make any, from number 1, that's just not how Tom plays. And Brian does call because his hand is so good, and he's going to see that, of course, Tom just has it. And indeed, Kurt gets it. He knew it was coming. Suboptimal call. And unfortunately for Brian, he just kind of got caught up in the, I have 3 4s with an ace.
With an ace, yeah. And that's enough to make Brian go, yep, I'm out.
Brian said, I mean, that's a ridiculous run out. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
4-10? Come on, man. I mean, it's a ridiculous cooler. But Brian can, let's see, he check raises and Tom 3-bets. Yeah, I mean, that's just, Tom is just never doing that on a bluff over course. Are there players that could? I suppose so.
Oh, absolutely.
Tom is not
there's
one of
players
them.
that could.
And Tom and Brian know each other well. They've
Yes.
played together a lot.
A lot.
So it's not as if Brian has no idea who his opponent is and he's just not going to give him credit just yet. You know, Brian knows that Tom is just going to show up with it there effectively all the time. I think Grand Theft that Brian was just like, you know what, man? After that kind of a run out, and I'm just done. Forget it. Yeah, you just add it. I just added a chicken breast. Yeah, always. Yeah.
Now what? Now this dead? Oh, okay.
I'm not even coming for your 25.
Well, you guys are really serious?
Oh, yeah, that's a real rule.
I don't know, I mean,
I told him that nothing wrong with it.
It's funny that a guy wearing a shirt that says "Love, Music, and Peace" is playing a game that is essentially hate war.
I'm not going to argue.
Peace and love. Bet.
They actually said before. So, I'll donate 25 bucks.
All right, so Brian calls Vic's raise, and Vic is going to peace and love himself right into a continuation bet here. Oh, sorry, no. Vic is not wearing that shirt. JK. Ooh, check. That flop check, I think, is going to convince Brian that he has the best hand. So now Vic is going to delayed continuation bet. And I don't imagine Brian is folding to $80 here. Not with King Jack. And that is going to make Brian even more in the camp of, I have the best hand here. See you later, what, Bri? Thanks for hanging out with us, brother. See you soon, I'm sure. So here is another value bet from Vic, and I don't think Brian is folding. You know, Vic just got tricky and checked an ace on the flop. Alrighty. And then I have the perfect hand to call him twice. Alrighty. And maybe Brian is going to fold. He does. Good fold. Good fold.
Speaking of good, some guys out there eating a roasted salmon with steamed Brussels sprouts, and it looks amazing.
So did you order it?
I didn't order that because I just.
Chris is like, hell no, I got a meat lover's pizza.
I thought about it. No, I actually followed suit from what you got, what you always order, the salt and pepper shrimp. You know, but basically a rice bowl with the side of a chicken breast.
Yes. Now, did you sub the fried shrimp?
I got it
grilled
for the
shrimp?
same exact way that you did it.
Okay. Well done,
Yeah.
my friend.
Wop rye. See you later, buddy.
Not anymore. Or still.
Bye forever.
Yeah. Yeah, Wop rye will come out and visit me. We're gonna go play some golf and play some craps.
I'll be down there in December. We'll hang then.
And Postle's trying to show how much of a man he is and eat frozen Totino's pizza rolls.
Yeah. In related news, Child Protective Services has been knocking on the front door for the last 20 minutes.
He didn't say he was feeding his daughter. Those. And grab just Busto food.
Mike has to save every penny he can for these games, you know. Wow, look at this turn card
Yeah.
here. up and down plus nut flush draw for HL. Porter does have ever so slightly the best of it here, though, with his pair. And he does have the club blockers. Of course, he thinks he has a live flush draw. And instead, the black king means nothing. And Porter has the best hand, but...
HL's going to stab.
Yes, he is.
He's probably going to get through.
Yeah, does it?
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Porter gives him credit. Wonder what HL is trying to say he has. He bets flop, Porter calls him. He checks behind on turn and then bets river, and he's, what is he, the king on the river? In any case, you guys can see it doesn't necessarily, your story doesn't always have to make exact sense. Sometimes, man, you just bet and they just fold.
Yeah, I mean, does this, but not snap.
Yeah. And you know, Postle's saying absolutely. You know, the reason why he's able to have 20K winning nights is because he saves money in other ways.
That's right.
Like not getting a babysitter.
Or buying off-brand pizza rolls, you know? Like, you could get DiGiorno, or you could get the Safeway brand and save a couple of bucks.
We want the Tostinos, like, you get like 4 boxes for 99 cents, and they taste super good. And he's saving money, you know, from his PG&E by not even warming them up.
There you go. It's cold. You
also burn more calories, right? Like, you know, by eating cold food.
Yeah, that's right. It's harder for your body to digest.
You gotta heat it up.
100%.
Yeah.
As you guys can see on the right side of your screen there, the Thirst Lounge 10 Takeover is coming up on Wednesday, October 23rd, after the Stones Fall Poker Series. A bunch of the hosts, including Fat Train and Poker Mama, and several of the other Thirst Lounge hosts, personalities, will be here at Stones all on the same night. They'll be playing in the game. They'll be commentating here in the booth, and it's going to be a cluster F of degeneracy. Going to be fun.
Yep. And I will either be here or I won't be here.
One of the two.
It'll be one of the two. So Runner Flush gets there, and it gives Joe trip queens. Vic could be betting some monies here.
Yeah, Vic the Sick has a monster. Only a couple of combos of hands he loses to. There's not much out there, though. And a bet and a snap call from Joe, who rivered the third queen. That is the exact perfect river card for Vic to get a bet out of Joe. So Vic bets 180, and Joe said call before Vic was done putting the money in the pot.
So I don't mind that call, and you know the way Joe played that at all. You know, you don't overcommit yourself. You're not going to fold that hand. You know, with the backdoor flush getting there, you know you can't be too scared of that. But he didn't want to raise and overplay his hand.
Right, because
Vic played it well, getting some value. The only thing I would say is, you know, Joe, take more time. Even if you know you're only going to call, make sure they stop, like they put out their actual bet before you put chips in. Because say if he had like a couple $1,000 chips, you know, palm to the top, that Vic had a couple $1,000 chips palm to his hand, he could just leave those there and you're committed to calling that because you've already put your chips out.
Sure.
The rule is like once you've called, you have to call that bet. If he hasn't completed the bet,
I've seen, you know, if you've been around poker cash games, you see people do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, they're so stoked on their hand, and their opponent goes to bet, and they're like, call! They say call, like, really quickly, and their opponent hasn't even finished betting yet, and now you only win the 80 bucks that they started to put out there, or whatever, when you would have won the 160 they were planning on betting.
Yep.
Happens a lot, actually. Yeah, some more money-saving tips from Mike and JFK. JFK sharpens and reuses his toothpicks. That's a good money. Now, here's a insight into how I work as the frugal but poker player-minded money person that I am, which is like, you know, of course, money means nothing on the poker table, but means everything in the world off the table. You guys tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how disgusting you think this is.
14.
I keep dental floss in the shower, in my toothbrush and toothpaste too, and I will reuse dental floss in the shower because, like, you know, you can like rinse it off as you're using it, you know, and then you just hang it over your soap container when you're done, and the next time you're in the shower, you do it again until eventually, you know, it just snaps.
Do you do your dishes in there too?
Just, you know, install a garbage disposal on my shower drain.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, Corey 30130?
What up, buddy?
Oh, Mike steals TP from his hotel rooms. Oh man, yeah, and robes and shampoos and conditioners and and probably makes that stupid justification like, oh, they build these things, they expect it, they build it into the cost of the rooms. The excuses people make for stealing. Ghost is like, I hate to tell you this, dude, but I don't think the savings in dental floss offsets the risk of new forms of scurvy. Yeah.
So Vic, the new chip leader, Porter at 1.6K, everybody in between. So it looks like it will be Jeremy at 6K pot. Nobody picked Jeremy. That means the hat is going to carry over to marbles.
Hey, marbles! Score yourself a recently unearthed Stones Live hat. We thought we were out of them.
Yes.
But no. There were more in the back.
And these are actually flex fits, so they look cool.
Boom.
Not that the other ones didn't. These look cool. HL, top paired. Porter, trying to make the cripple prints work. It won't.
Oh, no, don't speak so soon, dude. He's got a backdoor straight draw.
He has a backdoor two-pair draw as well.
That's so true.
AlphaMed says he thinks he's almost ready to get in on a 1-3 live game.
Oh.
Stream live game or just in general?
I would imagine he means stream, but who knows, man?
He could just be starting out playing 3-6
maybe he
right
just turned 21 and he's just dipping his toe into the cash game streets. Is it is marbles loaded, Taylor? I'm not really sure. I'm gonna do exclamation mark play just in case.
So Dream Seat is here to finally play marbles and to win me.
There you go.
I will be your prize. I'll be your Huckleberry.
Mike only wins at poker. Everything else in life, including marbles.
I think we're going to have a 4-way bomb pot here. Should be exciting.
Oh. Everyone loves 4-way bomb
short-handed.
pots.
I love short-handed, actually.
I like playing it. Calling it might not be quite as optimal for this exact stream.
Jeremy's picked up Mark
Right?
was actually up.
Bump up?
Brian got.
Brian don't got old man.
That's all advice.
Brian almost died.
He got Tom.
Old man River for sure.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mom.
For number one, mother, I'm married. So number two, dude, this is the funny thing. Like people have these like over the top reactions to that. Like, oh my god, oh what?
Yeah. Yes, my mom is watching and says, reuse your floss in the shower. Oh my god, disgusting. Do not make out with him. So sorry, Scott. You lost your chance, buddy.
But Mother Master C, it's his last night, man. How am I supposed to say goodbye in a meaningful way, if not a quick makeout?
You always want to remember your goodbyes.
That's exactly right. Exclamation mark play in the Twitch chat. We got marbles coming up very shortly. Hi Fee in the chat. What up, Pierce? Good to see you, dude. Wow, how many kings are there in this deck?
So apparently I'm playing marbles for my own freedom.
There you go.
It's just not looking good for me. I'm going to be put into a box and overnight shipped somewhere inside the U.S.
See, it's funny, like I'm not necessarily your mom or anything, but plenty of people who have
about mama.
plenty of people who have that sort of reaction to the notion that I'm in the shower using potable water to wash the thing off. They'll eat French fries and then use a dry napkin to wipe their hands and then go on about their business. They will do truly kind of gross things, but then read stuff that isn't really as gross as it sounds on its face as super gross. Yeah. It's kind of gross.
Porter continuing to have premium hands pre-flop and then just get that kind of flop to go with it.
Yeah. Crippled Prince coming through here. Any tips to fight a cold you got coming on, Hyphy? Let's see. I would do a ton of vaping, and I'm pretty sure you got that on lock. And shots fireball.
There you go. Or some Glenlivet 18.
Oh yeah, some blended Scotch whiskey. Never. Maybe
it's not blended.
It's not.
I don't think so.
It's not single barrel, dude. I think it's blended. Look it up. If you do that thing where you soak the tip of a rag in it and then kind of suck on it like a newborn, I think that can be good for colds. Yeah, vaping kills if you
Yeah,
bought
but you won't have a cold.
That's right. It's hard to have a runny nose when you're DED dead, you know.
And it just breaks down and fade away into goo.
That is so true, Taylor. Like, how much grosser could the flossing be than reusing a toothbrush? Which people do night after night after night. They don't even think about it. It's funny. People have completely irrational reactions to certain things, and I've noticed that that's one of them. Not that it's a particularly fantastic behavior that I'm proud of or anything, but, you know, I do enjoy how over-the-top people's reactions are to that notion. I only buy my vaping products from the highest-rated Alibaba sellers.
That's right.
You be quiet. You're the same like me.
You can buy toothbrush sanitizer. It's a thing. Yeah, but Ghost, who does that? What percentage of the population soaks their, you know, like they got their comb in the barber's barbicide, whatever that stuff is, and they got their toothbrush in antiseptic? Kappa.
So shorthanded
Wow.
and HL just smashes the hell out of the flop.
I don't have any problem like personal with him.
And just gets there.
And just gets
2 pair
wow,
for Porter.
unbelievable. So unlucky for Porter. They're playing shorthanded. He's got 2 pair, and he's basically dead.
Yeah.
He needs to fill up
Got
quickly
any
now.
boats?
And HL is just up in the
Just gonna call.
the classic brick on the river,
The deuce of pumpkins.
the deuce of pumpkins, and Porter has 9s and freaking 10s here. Porter going for value on the river, and HL obviously is going to raise. He has the stones. He does lose the Queen King of Hearts. M Brown
Thank you very
3071. What up, dude? Thanks for the follow, man.
They have teeth brushes.
Yeah, I just got to brush one tooth.
Yeah. They can afford to brush all their teeth.
And HL is just or have someone do it for them.
Yeah,
You know?
let's get those extra 3 red chips.
And yeah, I mean Porter. I mean, is he going to call a raise here? I mean, he only beats a bluff. Is HL ever turning just the Ace of Hearts into a bluff here? You know, I don't know that Porter's super familiar with HL. Is he capable of that? Don't really know. I mean, what Ace of Hearts would need to do that here? Ace of Hearts total banana? Ace of Hearts 5 of green? You know? How did we get this far? I guess, well, I shouldn't say that. He checks behind on flop. See, the check behind on flop is tricky. Like, would HL really have a total monster here that checked behind on flop? Just called turn and is now raising the river? His line is weird. It does look bluffy. And Porter's going to call because his line looks so bluffy. HL checked behind on turn, checked behind on flop, just called turn, and now he's raising on the river. It looks like he has Ace of Hearts and a Costco card. And you know, like I said, you know, I don't know that any of us are familiar, and they're playing 3-handed. I don't know that any of us are familiar enough with HL to know if he's capable of playing a hand like Ace of Hearts X this way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he is. All right. So, guys, we got the marbles going up. Everybody hit the exclamation point play.
In the Twitch chat,
Twitch
exclamation
chat.
mark play. There are a lot of people suffering from OCD about germs. Those are the people who buy toothbrush sanitizers. Feel bad for them, William. Yeah, you know, there definitely are. OCD can come in handy. Like, you know, it can help you, like, keep a clean house and stuff. You just have to walk the line between the I like to have my room clean and my bed made in the mornings, and I, like, can't step on cracks in the sidewalk, and I use a different bar of soap every time I wash my hands. Can't let it get away from you. All right, so we're giving away a Stones hat, guys, for the winner of the marbles race. Here we go. 30-1 shot. Another suboptimal call, courtesy of Kurt. 30-1 seems pretty decent for a free hat. Yeah, I always like to, you know, at the risk of, like, you know, tooting my own horn, I like to think that I have something in the realm of, like, a reasonable OCD that actually benefits me. Because I don't have, like, weird tics, or I have to turn the lights on and off 5 times before I leave the room kind of thing. Like, I don't have any of that. But I do have, like, I like cleanliness, like reasonable cleanliness. So people come into my house and they're like, oh, wow, it's so nice and so clean. Like, you cleaned up for me? I'm like, no, I don't care about you. I keep my house like this all the time, man. Oh. Train? Oh, Train, we hardly knew ye. See ya. Wait, Is the race already done? Oh no. Okay, cool. We're still racing. Where's the course? There we go. Did I? Oh, I was out too. Oh man. Wait. Oh yeah, I lost. Oh, JFK, Pocket Abe's. Pocket Abe's a total marble whale, but he couldn't get it done on this one. How much did Porter buy in for? I'm not really sure, Grand Theft Chips, but dude, it's all right, man. It's just one session, man. Life is one big long session. Porter ain't worried too much about tonight's results, and neither should you be, my friend. You win some nights, you lose some nights. It's all part of poker. And Grand Theft Chips, speaking of which, part of tonight's poker is you winning this marbles race, man. Grand Theft Chips. Well-run race, dude. Postle, ever so close to the first place he was looking for, but he struck a deal with Adolphus is my cat, CS Wood, and Grand Theft Chips because they all wanted the trophy. Mike took first place money, but put up a fourth place finish on the leaderboard. Well-run race by all you guys.
Did I win?
You did not. I don't even think
I
you
made it
finished.
to the end. I saw
So-
myself in the ashtray.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh. So somebody put out a...
12.
Oh, 12. There you go.
The first one not to get points.
Woo! Can you ever... I don't know, Mike. I don't know if you can, but
So
you have
who
another.
won
You have another shot to win right here. Last marble race of the night, guys. Before we wrap it up, exclamation mark play. Get in on it. Try and score yourself something.
Rigged.
Exclamation mark play in the Twitch chat. Rig Team Pro. There's Master
That
C.
will be the ball that will not come in any position.
It's Master C. Master C comes in every position except in marbles. It's Master C's last marble race, guys. Feels bad, man. Oh, and then what are we gonna do? You know, for our next screening of the Face Off sequel. Oh man.
We'll just have to wait for it to come out on Hulu.
Yeah, exactly. Or on Trainflix, maybe.
There you go. Speaking of, have we heard from that guy?
I have not. His marble race fell off in the last race, and I didn't see him there. Oh, what do you know, Pocket Abes, you whale?
Yeah.
There you go. There's Master C in first place. Can Master C win his last ever marbles race?
No.
That would be something
happen.
else, huh? Something to write home about.
I'll like jump. I'll land in there and then like fly out.
Look at this dude. I love his profile picture. He just he just ripped a huge B load through one of those like 4-footers that take your buddy's got to be down there with the lighter while you're standing on the chair, you know.
Master C falling way behind.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he can. Yeah, you can play marbles even when you're not in this booth.
Yes.
When you're on the other side of the keyboard in Grandma's basement.
I'll be on
in
the other
Vegas.
side.
There you go. You're absolutely right, Ghost. And table 9, seat 9 is the Ghost Ball, setting the course record.
First
it's
loser.
Bad Poker with the win. Master C, almost, dude.
So
almost.
close.
And there it is. There's a top 10 finish for High Fee.
We do not have a marbles graph, unfortunately.
There it is. Master C ever so close to a W, but it's
Almost
bad
won.
poker. I'll be right there if you put it on the bar. Thank you. And that's a great race there, Bad Poke. Yeah, it's
right.
it's a horrible movie.
Time for us to get out of here.
Yeah, it is time. It is time. There you go, guys. That was our truncated 5-5 No Limit Cash stream tonight from Stones. And, man, dude, we're going to miss you around here, brother.
I'll miss being here for sure.
It was an honor to do the final show with you, man. It's been a hell of a ride.
All right, man.
Hell of a ride.
Everybody. Yeah.
Everybody say your goodbyes to Master C. We've had a blast with him in the booth here, and it will not be the last time. It's just goodbye for now.
Just for now.
We'll be back on the air here on Stones Live. Life does go on around here, even though we are Master C list. Today is Wednesday. We are back on the air on Saturday. And what do we got? We got a Veronica and Friends coming up? No, sorry. The last Saturday sit and go is what we got.
There we go.
The 550 sit and go. So we got a little tournament action coming at you guys, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a one-table tourney, a sit and go. So please tune in. That'll be starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Hit the like, follow, subscribe buttons, and turn on the notifications so you don't even got to remember. Thank you guys all in the Twitch and YouTube chats for hanging out with us. Greatly appreciated. You got some final thoughts?
Yeah, just saying thank you guys. I've enjoyed my time and bullshitting with everybody. I'll be in the chat and probably sometimes even randomly in the booth here. But otherwise, when you're in Vegas, hit me up. Hit me up on all the socials at MasterC707 on everything. Other than that, they will continue in my absence.
Indeed, we will. So we'll see you guys. We'll see Master C soon. We'll see you guys on Saturday. And until then, it is Scott for our friend Master C. All the players, producers, Taylor and Renee, and JFK saying so long.